beady little eyes, hips that sashay. Welcome to Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
Welcome to the show. Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. Jim's in Los Angeles doing television. But look who's in instead. Corey Graves is here from WWE. Welcome, Corey.
Thank you for having me.
Why isn't this, I feel like...
This is all a rib on me.
Hang on.
I'm here. There I am.
There it is.
Here I am.
The curse of Jim Norton remains at this board.
It remains. I am the penultimate professional broadcaster.
What is that? Is that
as far as I know, to the best of my knowledge, penultimate is the next to last, and you, Sam Roberts, being the last professional broadcaster, I am next to you, well, sort of across the table. And I too am a professional broadcaster.
So does that make me the ultimate professional broadcaster?
Yeah, I think it's a way sexier name than the last.
Yeah, but I've invested so much in branding the last professional broadcaster. I can't go back on that now.
Fair.
You know what I mean? It's one of those choices that you make early on, and you repeat until you slam it into people's heads, until people actually believe it to be true. And if I change it now, then they'll realize it was all a farce from the beginning.
Fair. I understand. But in my mind and in my heart, you will be the ultimate professional broadcaster.
Well, that's great. And especially if you refer to yourself as penultimate, then I think that the implication is that I'm the ultimate, and that works.
And I feel as though you would be remiss to not come to work wearing arm tassels from this point forward.
That's right, and face paint. At least on my chest.
Yes.
I do have the logo painted on my chest right now. Well, Jesus, we woke up this morning, and everybody's news alerts are going off because Chris Cornell died, I guess, overnight. Well, I think the alert started popping up around 5 o'clock in the morning or something.
Yeah, I was on the way here.
Yeah. He's 52 years old, and he was still touring. He's touring with Soundgarden. I think, what was he opening for, Troy? Dillinger Escape Plan?
Yeah, I believe Dillinger was opening for them.
Oh, Dillinger, yeah, I guess Dillinger would be opening for them, but they were on tour with Dillinger Escape Plan, and I don't know, man. Chris Cornell is for sure a shocker and a sad one because, you know, we had Chris Cornell in here, it was years ago, but he's been up to the studio a few times, and as healthy and together as any person, not even any rock star, but any person could be described as being. And just the fact that he was still on tour and singing at the level that he sings at. You know, people who are going to see Soundgarden now, we're not sitting there going, oh man, this is a shell of what it was. Even when you hear, like, you know, Led Zeppelin perform now, some of the notes get changed a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, it's not quite the exact same song, but Chris Cornell's voice still stood up, and the fact that was happening consistently would lead one to believe that, you know, maintaining a healthy lifestyle is kind of important to that. No?
You would think.
Right?
But apparently, you know.
Well, who knows?
When your time's up, man.
I guess so.
It's unfortunate. I'm actually bummed out. I had the opportunity. I got invited. There was a festival in Tampa about a month ago, and I was down there for a wedding the next night, and I wasn't able to make it, but it was Soundgarden was the headliner, and I'm kind of bummed out that I did not make that.
Oh, you fucked up. And you know what? I actually got a copy of the note, and it said, I heard Corey Graves was supposed to go to my show and just left me for some wedding. So this is it.
I'll take the heat.
I'm finished. There's no reason for me to go on. It's so weird. Like, people try to call it, and some of them you can call, but like Scott Weiland, for example.
Right. No one was really shocked.
No one. Anybody who was like, you could be saddened by it, but to say you're surprised by it would be an ignorant statement, especially because you don't even have to know his history. Just looking at, this is a guy who also has had an amazing voice, but the fact that he couldn't maintain that schedule would lead one to believe, like, oh, this is what drugs does to a person.
Right.
You can't sing on that level night after night after night after night, especially for years on end, because it's not like Soundgarden went away for a while.
Right, but then he did Audio Slave.
He did Audio Slave.
He did all that solo stuff. He's got some incredible solo stuff.
Right. He just kept going. He kept singing and everything. So I have no idea what happened here.
Police are investigating it as a possible suicide.
Oh, man.
If Chris Cornell kills himself, what possible hope do any of us have? I mean, at 52 years old, he was still like the hottest dude ever. Well, he's a good-looking, handsome man.
Right. But to be fair, you know, is it blow up the outside world? The first lyrics are "Nothing seems to kill me." Maybe Chris Cornell knew. He was like, "Nothing's going to. It's got to be.
I got to do this on my own terms."
Oh.
He still had a full head of hair. Look how long his hair was. It wasn't thinning. He could still sing. He still looked good in a t-shirt. He didn't have old man titties or anything like that. How could Chris Cornell need to kill himself?
Who knows? We'll have to wait till all the facts come out, I guess. But we were talking before.
When officers went to the room, they found Chris Cornell lying in his bathroom, unresponsive. He had passed away. Detroit's WXYZ reported that police said Cornell's wife called a family friend and asked him to check on the singer's well-being, and when the friend forced open the hotel room door, he found Cornell on the bathroom floor.
Maybe he choked on a pretzel. Maybe he went out like Elvis and choked on a sandwich.
True.
You know what I mean? It doesn't mean suicide.
No.
Maybe it was an accident.
Accidental suicide.
Maybe he nicked himself while shaving and bled out. Who knows? You don't know what happens anymore. Crazy shit happens in rock and roll.
This will be fine. I don't need a Band-Aid.
Yeah, I'm just going to go to sleep here on the floor.
You guys make light of that situation. I had a very serious encounter in the shower last week. My wife had left a razor blade. The head of the razor blade apparently had detached from the handle, and it was kind of in the grate.
She was just like...
So I got into the shower, and I just like
leave it.
A reasonable human being.
The sharp part of the razor is missing. I'm sure somebody else will find it.
My big toe, pretty hacked up right now.
Oh, my God. You could have bled out.
I could have bled out.
Good thing you didn't sleep it off.
That's right. could have been a really, really bad situation. But we were talking before, right before we came on the air, about how, think about it now, all of like the titans of the grunge era are gone now. You got Cornell's gone, with the exception of Eddie Vedder.
Yeah.
Obviously Cobain, Lane Staley from Alice in Chains, Scott Weiland.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone that was like important to us, when the grunge era, the 90s thing was happening, they're all gone now.
Especially that had any kind of abilities to sustain, like to come out with more than one hit or to last any length of time, more than one album. Yeah, what other bands? So there's Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, obviously, and then Pearl Jam is the one exception. But are there any Smash Mouth, I guess? But are there any other
Pumpkins, basically?
That's true. I mean, Billy Corgan wasn't really grunge. I feel like,
well, they were in that same time frame, though.
Yeah, but I think the Smashing Pumpkins came in that time frame and started introducing the world to emo.
True.
I kind of feel like the Smashing Pumpkins were the first emo band because it wasn't like grunge. Grunge was like we're the not cool kids from high school, but we don't take any shit. Whereas, Smashing Pumpkins were kind of like, we got beat up a lot in high school, Like, we were able to come out with all this great music now because we got the shit kicked out of us. That's how I felt there was a difference. Let's go to Dutch. Dutch, welcome to Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
Hey, good morning, boys. How are you?
Good.
Hey, he played like 2 years ago up at Bridgeport. He played an acoustic set for like 3 hours.
You talking about Chris Cornell?
Yes, I'm sorry, not Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
He played for about 3 hours, and it was honestly one of the best concerts I've ever been to because it was a small venue, and like the second half of the show almost became like a karaoke thing where people were calling out stuff, and he would just play it, and his voice was like there was no change from the time I saw him in the early 90s till now, but he just looked healthy. His wife and kid were on stage through some of it. Everything was great. It's a damn shame, man. He was really talented.
Yeah, I mean, this really makes me doubt everything. If this would be a suicide, this has to be some kind of an accident. He has to have choked on something. He was eating something. There's some kind of weird accident. They're going to find like a double stuffed Oreo lodged in his throat or something like that because he just swallowed it down. I don't know. But I can't believe that Chris Cornell would need to kill himself. Why would any of us exist if that were the case?
Maybe he was bummed because Billy Corgan bought National Wrestling Alliance. And he didn't.
He's like, fuck, I wanted the NWA. Yeah. There's still some juice left in that. No, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Billy Corgan was like, and obviously no offense to pro wrestling fans, I am one, but, Billy Corgan he's a nerd. He was watching pro wrestling in high school. He was doing his thing. He got the shit kicked out of him a lot. And then he was able to... And
he started one of the greatest rock bands of his generation.
Yes, and then he was able to put out Smashing Pumpkins, who I love, but it wasn't quite the same. And I don't think that, like, the grunge guys hung out with Billy Corgan either. He wasn't known for having friends in that group, right, Troy?
No, he was more like an art guy.
Yeah.
Nerd rock guy. Like a art student that was into metal and then turned nerdy with it.
Right.
Kind of like Weezer a little bit.
That fits a little more.
But then Weezer kind of transcended to that other level where they're like too nerdy that they're cooler than everybody now. They're like,
Weezer became like the first like hipster band.
Right. Yes. There you go. That's exactly what they are. They were the first hipster band.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. So we don't know what happened, but he was performing with Soundgarden at the time. He was in Detroit. Maybe that's why he killed himself.
Not a lot going on there.
Too many juggalos.
Yeah, he was like, fuck, man. I'll never get the love that the clowns get. I'll never get the love from my fans that the ICP gets. I just don't understand it. Especially at 52. You would think if he's going to kill himself, like, he would do it maybe right after Soundgarden started to fall off. Like, when it looked like, okay, this is over. Grunge is done because I'm not going to be the coolest guy ever anymore. Like, now... I would think that you would just realize, like, holy shit, like, we're still making this work. Like, it's that sort of grateful thing, like, this was never supposed to last until I was 52.
But he never really stopped, though. He went from Soundgarden, and I mean, obviously there's a few years in between, but I think there was like the solo thing, and then the Audio Slave thing was enormous for a long time.
Yeah, but you don't think Zach was from Rage Against the Machine was leaving like threatening messages on his voicemail, like, get the fuck away from those guys, Cornell. That'd make me want to kill myself. Let's go to Kevin in Louisiana. Kevin, welcome to Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
Hey guys, I mean, don't all celebrities pretty much have some type of issue? I mean, look at Robin Williams. Nobody saw that coming.
I guess not, but like,
I mean, and you work with one too, so.
First of all, I don't work with a celebrity. I am a celebrity. That's ridiculous. But the comedian thing, at least it's a little different because it's known. I guess not really with rock stars. Rock stars aren't supposed to be sullen and depressed. They're supposed to be like drunk and have groupies and stuff like that. You know. Like comedians, it's known. Chicks don't like comedians, generally speaking.
Which is funny because if you ask a girl what she looks for in a man, the first thing is, I like a guy who's funny.
I'm just looking for
I know a lot of funny people who have never had girlfriends.
Right. I'm looking for a guy with a sense of humor. You know, I keep dating jerks. And so I'm looking for somebody with a great sense of humor. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he can tell you jokes while you're waiting for a text to come in from the asshole that you met at a bar 2 weeks ago. Yeah. That's the fact that rock stars get laid. To me, is a huge difference maker. Like comedians.
Let me ask. This is a very, very honest question because I know in our business, the sports entertainment industry, the whole kind of culture has changed over the last decade, where it's not like the party thing, like the rock and roll lifestyle, like it once was.
Right. And the ring rats aren't showing up like they used to.
Yeah, I'm not saying there aren't ever exceptions, but. Like a lot of the guys when they're on the road, they want to just chill out and play video games and hang out. And I've got a lot of friends in bands, and usually you go back into the green room and it's like the most laid back thing in the world. There are no more. That scene is just totally different. Maybe I'm hanging out with the wrong bands,
right?
But usually, everyone's having a couple beers, hanging out, just talking, just chilling. Whereas, the stereotypical rock and roll lifestyle used to be backstage was the biggest, most insane party on the planet. Has the culture changed across that world too? This is an honest question.
I wonder. Maybe they figured out, because I feel like in your industry they figured out that like the reason why mentally it was so bad for people was because you do this show and then you go up on this huge high of this amazing party, and that way every single morning was this massive low, right? Because you can't maintain that, and then you start trying to find that same massive high again. Whereas if you do something where you perform in front of an audience and then you're just kind of mellow after, you're almost protecting yourself. Like, let's not let it get too up here.
Oh, it's definitely a good
thing. Then it won't be down here.
Overall, it's definitely, from a human being level, it's definitely way better. I just, as times change, I don't know if that's permeated rock and roll as well.
Do you know, Troy, like, do bands still party like they used to? Because when you were in a band, it was, what years were you in a band?
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Right, so that was at the height of
it was pretty crazy
partying.
Yeah.
And your band was like, you guys had a local following, but you weren't like a huge band, and you still lived it up.
Oh, yeah. Took advantage of everything.
And everyone.
Things have definitely changed with social media now, too. You know what I mean? Because, like, you kind of can't just go, like, hook up with a groupie or something. It becomes a whole thing.
Because the groupie's going to tweet, or you don't know, you pass out, photos are taken.
Right, everyone's kind of attainable now.
Yeah.
Whereas used to be like, there's no way I'm ever going to run into Paul Stanley.
Right.
So,
right. Know. Like the old rock stars could be like, oh, the things we used to do, whereas these ones are like, no, we know exactly what you're doing. I saw it.
Yeah.
Somebody it was on Periscope. Right. It was streamed live.
And I think a lot of the rock guys now are just kind of like, they're a little more nerdy. I think it's not really like this like debaucherous, hair metal or whatever. They're kind of a little bit more nerdy, where I think some of the more rock star stuff went into like hip hop and the dance music culture, where like hip hop is still pretty debaucherous. Like they go full into groupie and group sex and drugs, and even like some of the DJs and stuff are there's just girls literally just throwing themselves at these guys.
And it's also because hip hop still and dance music are not mainstream in the sense that adults still kind of don't understand that stuff. Like you listen to today's hip hop, you turn on Migos, or you listen to anything in dance music culture, and anybody who's over like 30, 35 for the most part is going to be like, what the fuck is this? This isn't music, and turn it off. I don't understand. Leave me alone. Which inherently means there's not this spotlight being shined on it. So I think people act like, well, my parents aren't watching me. I'm just going to be a fucking maniac. Whereas rock music is like, it's guys that are 40. You know what I mean? That's what rock music has
like Coldplay
become. Right.
Like Foo Fighters, or like, I don't even know if there's like what
you
had
a guy trying to be the vice president of the United States who said his favorite band was Rage Against the Machine. that's when you know that rock music is not a counterculture to anything anymore.
There aren't, though. There aren't any current like rock bands that are like blowing up the world. There's your handful of bands that you hear about that are on every festival around the country, but there's not really that band that's just larger than life right now.
Especially here in America. People in America like rappers that mumble and DJs that can do it hands free. That's the new shit.
But all the big bands that are like quote unquote rock bands that are cool that are still touring are like bands from the 90s.
Right.
Or early 2000s. Like, I don't know, that last wave of like White Stripes, Queens of the Stone Age.
That was that last
That was the last hurrah of, and then it kind of went into like emo, like My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
And then right after that, that was it. I mean, there was no other good rock bands that have come out in the past 10 years.
It starts passing very quickly into top 40 and pop, like Panic at the Disco.
Yeah.
Type stuff.
Fallout Boy.
Yeah.
But I know people are going to be like, no, this band came out. It's like, yeah, but they're not massive.
Yeah, there are always exceptions, but yeah, there's no one that everyone knows and knows all their stuff, and it's a big deal.
Yeah, there's no bands making good music
Sure.
like that. That desire to want to play an instrument and join a rock band still exists, but it hasn't connected.
On many levels, it's been replaced by the ability to sit behind a computer and push a button, and as you said, do it hands-free.
Do hands-free.
And still get the rock and roll lifestyle. So I think maybe we've been doing it all wrong.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you just now with computers, you don't have to sit in a room with 4 other guys.
Douchebags mostly.
Yeah, and it's hard. Playing in a band, it's hard. You have to get along with people, and creatively, you're all trying to put your input in, and it's sometimes just too much. Where you can sit in front of a computer and just design the song the way you want yourself.
Yeah, I mean, musically, like there is something that's so much more satisfying, I'm sure, about just doing it alone. Like this is just mine.
It's yours, yeah, right. You have full ability to do what it is that you want to do.
I don't have to worry about Lars in the corner being, this isn't what we should be doing, guys. This is not what we should be doing. Fucking Lars.
Look at people like Trent Reznor or Dave Grohl or Eddie Vedder, who a lot of those songs were just them, and then they brought them to the band. Like that whole first Foo Fighters record was all Dave Grohl.
Right.
He played all of it. But Trent Reznor is Nine Inch Nails.
Right.
So
right. That's always been there. That feeling of like, no, I just want to do my thing.
I think it's that band Ghost right now. They're like a metal band. They paint themselves up. I think it's the guitar player. It's not the singer that is actually the creative force behind the whole band. And I think it's kind of a similar situation where he just does his thing and then he has people come and play on it, which is a smart way to go.
It's probably why Dave Grohl brought in Pat Smear, because he was like, he'll just look at the sheet music and play it.
Pat Smear's dope.
You know what I mean? Well, it looks like a dope, that face of his. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's always been there. Also, I mean, Dave Grohl, there's stories about him just pitching song after song to Kurt, and Kurt being like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. So he was so probably, when he could finally go out and do his own thing, he was probably so relieved. He was thinking, I'm never going to be in a traditional band again.
Oh my God, you know how many songs he already had in his back pocket when they were like recording In Utero?
Well, that first Foo Fighters album is like a classic album, and it came out pretty quick.
Yeah, he was ready.
Yeah.
Dave Grohl has been in every band since the demise of Nirvana. Every band, period. Every time you're like a new record coming out, like, guest appearance by Dave Grohl.
Well, now,
he's on everything.
Right. Now Dave's got it out of his system, right? He's got all this Foo Fighters that was in him out of his system. So he's like, yeah, fuck it. I'm the man. So I guess I'll just play guitar over here. I'll play drums over here. Like, it's just it's a lark.
Could you imagine just being at a stature to where he can pretty much call any band or any musical artist on the planet and go, hey, man, can I do some stuff with you? And they just go, yeah.
He's like, I wrote a song with Paul McCartney.
Yeah, exactly. It's outrageous, but God bless him.
In rock, he's like the god, really.
Dave Grohl?
Yeah,
I would say so.
Everybody loves him. He's just one of those guys that everybody in music loves.
Well, how can you shit on him?
You can't.
How could you? And he's also like, anybody that's had interactions with him is like, oh yeah, he's awesome too. Like, he's a cool dude.
He was awesome when he came in here.
Yep. Yeah.
He was the fucking shit.
Yeah.
Everything you hoped he would be, you're like, oh yeah, that's Dave. That's just Dave Grohl.
That's awesome.
He's great. You wonder what Kurt Cobain would be doing. I wouldn't be surprised if Kurt Cobain slipped into electronic music or something, because he definitely would have left Nirvana at some point. And then he probably wouldn't want to be one of those guys that's sitting and just playing old Nirvana tunes now, because he saw himself as an artist, right?
Right.
So he would want to develop and do stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if Kurt Cobain was. That's why sometimes we have to look at people passing away, artists passing away, as a positive thing. Because if Kurt Cobain hadn't passed away and he had become a DJ.
Kurt Cobain, EDM master.
Yeah. Like he'd be like an old DJ though, where like he wouldn't be one of the cool ones. Because all the cool ones would be these young guys that came up in that, and Kurt would just kind of trying to be like, no, I got to put my own spin on it. You'd be like, Kurt, what do you...
Or he could have just gone very like avant-garde and just kind of put out weird records in his basement and just doesn't make any sense. Because a lot of those rock guys, they have a real hard time. They're very like guitar-driven guys. So like the idea of just working in a computer is like, that is so stupid.
Right.
They don't really adapt.
So doing like John Lennon, Yoko stuff?
Yeah, or like, look what, what's the bass player?
Chris
Novoselic. I mean, like, he still does music, but nobody cares.
It's just like him playing the same note for 45 minutes straight.
Exactly. He's like, do you know I smashed my head open at the MTV Awards? Yeah, we saw the documentary. Yeah. We got it. Isn't he a politician too?
Yeah, he ran for something.
Poor guy. He's trying to get some kind of shine on his own. He's like, okay, obviously Kurt Cobain is the icon and Dave Grohl is the genius. I got to figure something out. I play bass. That's a skill too, right?
That.
I play bass. So I don't know. I'm kind of bummed though about what's
Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell.
Obviously, you're so disturbed you can't even remember his own
Well,
name.
every name that was coming to me was Chris Novoselic, and I am bummed that that didn't work out better for him.
He's still alive. Yeah,
he's still alive.
His career's been dead for many years.
Yeah.
What about like Jason Newsted, who volunteered to leave Metallica? Do you think like he had that one record that he played on? I can't think of the name of the band.
He had a band called Newsted, and then he was in a band called he did Echo Brain.
Echo Brain. That's what I was trying to think of.
And then he played with what was the other metal band that he played with? It's one other metal band, but yeah, he kind of just slipped off into. I think he was really depressed for a long time that he left.
Right. On.
Yeah. Well, he's like Jason Newsted.
Voivod,
yes.
He's like the Adrian of metal, where he obviously has the gig, but goes off to quote unquote pursue his dreams and realizes what a huge mistake it was. But if you watch Some Kind of Monster documentary, what's his name from Megadeth?
Dave Mustaine, yeah.
Dave Mustaine
got kicked out of Alcoholica, as they called it at the time.
And he's sitting there. He's got Megadeth, though. He left Metallica. It's not like he went on to do this obscure thing. Under Metallica is Megadeth. Like, Megadeth is a huge band.
They're a fraction of what Metallica is.
And he knows it.
Yes.
He's not at all. He's still bummed out.
Right.
Decades later, he's like, fuck, I wish I was still in Metallica.
And then you've got Robert Trujillo, who all he has to do is like walk around bent over the whole time and flick his ponytails. And
Yeah.
he's a multimillionaire.
Right.
Now.
And he's like, this is great.
Yeah,
Why would anybody leave this? He's like, oh, because Lars is so tough and sometimes James does. And you're like, what? Just go in and play bass and go home. The songs are already there. Do the job and go home.
From my understanding, then from the movie, they didn't. Their first bass player that died, Cliff Burton, Jason Newsted took a lot of that anger on him from the band. Because he was the replacement, so he had it pretty tough, from my understanding.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of him.
Yeah,
Ignored
there was like
him.
a lot of hazing for many, many years.
Because you're not him.
Yeah,
we loved him.
Yeah,
and
you're
for
not
fans
him.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? Mark Wahlberg had to deal with that too in that movie Rockstar, and he did fine. I mean, eventually he ended up leaving.
I thought you meant like hazing from the Funky Bunch. I thought he had a really hard time.
They kicked the shit out of him with pillowcases full of soap. But no, Steel Panther is who I'm talking about. He came in as the lead
Steel
singer.
Dragon.
Steel Dragon.
Panther is a
Panther's
real
an actual
band.
band.
Yeah.
He came in and was the lead singer of Steel Dragon. He did fine.
Wolfman had to go through some of that with the Wonders.
That's true. He was only there for the tail end, though. To be fair, by the time Wolfman joined the Wonders, that band was a fraction of what they used to be. It was falling apart at the seams. I don't even know where their bass player went.
Just went AWOL.
I know, it's ridiculous. But you got a good thing, and it just goes away. I'm sure we'll find out by today or over the weekend or something what happened to Chris Cornell, because everybody that you talked to was shocked by it. You know what I mean?
Just because he's on tour.
Yeah, and doing well on tour, as he always did. You just don't see it. You don't see stuff like that coming, but I guess sometimes it happens.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys that are in music, their best art comes from being tortured.
Right.
The real happy guys usually aren't writing amazing music.
You don't think Black Hole Sun was an ode to like, oh, how wonderful the day is when he wakes up?
Yeah, no, so he could have been in a real dark place, man. Like a lot of those guys are just.
I guess so.
And you just on this sort of downward spiral.
But you would think though. You would think that I get that being like when you're creating the art, because I guess he's still creating, but at this point, it's kind of been created, and Soundgarden becomes this act of like, yeah, I love Soundgarden. I want to go see the songs that I know. I don't really want to hear the new stuff.
Yeah, but it's that mentality, that artist mentality. If you're not creating, you feel like you're stagnant. And I'm sure his mentality didn't change. Sure, he's rich. Sure, he's famous, and he's done all this cool stuff. But at the end of the day, the same things that drove him to create all this art and Soundgarden is probably still inside of him. And if you get to a point where maybe he felt like he was a shell, maybe it was the hardest thing in the world to go play these songs that he thought he was past. It's part of being a creative person. You know what I mean? You make yourself crazy no matter what your situation is.
As a person who's creative and working in entertainment, Graves, does it terrify you to know that, like, because I want to think that at 52 he gets to this place where he just like appreciates the fact that wow, I wasn't supposed to still be doing this. I'm still doing it. I'm over all that sort of young angst stuff. I'm over sort of climbing. I know exactly what my spot is. Obviously, I'm happy about it, and let's just go out and do the hits. Like, you want to believe.
You want to believe that, but I mean,
it doesn't happen.
It definitely doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
No matter how cool your situation is, there's always something else that's going to make you crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it happens.
Because Soundgarden is looking at what Pearl Jam is doing, because Pearl Jam, is still putting out relevant music. As much as I hate to admit that,
right?
Because Travis is a fan.
They're selling out stadiums.
You don't find them to be relevant anymore, Troy?
I think they have a huge following.
That's what I'm saying.
Huge. In my opinion, I'm sorry, Travis, I don't think they're all that relevant in today's world, but they're selling out and people love them.
They'll chart like 1 or 2 songs per record.
You're goddamn right.
But they're not like.
They're definitely selling
amazing.
out. Still playing the Target Stadium and everything. What happened to not giving in to corporate greed?
Well,
give me all the corporate greed.
All of it.
I aspire to have corporate greed.
I mean, they just signed a partnership with Ticketmaster, like literally the people that they hated, for some arena in Seattle to like remake it, and
How times have changed.
Of course. Yeah, I guess when I say relevant, I mean there's a large group of people that care about their new music. Mm-hmm. Like, their fan base cares about their music, whereas Soundgarden, there's probably a very, very small portion, but for the most part, they're just like, they're gonna play Black Hole Sun, right? Like, they go for the hits.
The only thing that makes me wonder is to that earlier point about always being creative. Once you reach a certain level, you have basically creative freedom to do whatever you want, and you have the money to do it.
Yeah.
So if you want to make a solo record or you want to make some wacky polka record, I mean, you can do it. It's not necessarily going to be successful.
Yeah, like Sting playing the lute.
Right.
Like, he came out with that album. Where
Why? Because he could.
Right.
That's it.
I'm not doing any Police songs. I'm going to play Madison Square Garden. I'm just doing the new stuff with my lute and a chair and no Police stuff. And people are like, I'm going to hate it.
But I'm going to go.
I'm going. I bought a ticket. It is Sting.
Yeah.
I got to go. So you're right. Or it's the other way where you're like, I have all these fans. I'm going to do whatever I want. And all the fans are like, I'm not trying to hear that. Goodbye. Yeah. Like, nah, I don't think so. But Chris Cornell could probably look at a guy like Eddie Vedder and been like, that'd be nice to be there. I'm not there. That'd be nice to be there. Or Metallica. Travis, you just saw Metallica last night, right? Oh, he's got his headphones off. You just saw Metallica last night, right,
yeah.
Travis? Were they were amazing?
Amazing.
I'm sure.
Unbelievable. Loudest show I've ever seen.
And as far as a touring band goes, Metallica is looked at as a much bigger deal than Soundgarden.
And Metallica's riding this wave of goodwill that I haven't seen in years.
Why do they have such goodwill?
I think because the new record is actually not that bad. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think there's just some
They're very lovable guys.
Yeah, like something has changed just in the last few years. Because I mean, like this, it wasn't like this with Death Magnetic or
no. They're in interviews. They come across very lovable, and they're very sincere. You could tell they're just genuine people. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're so grateful that they're still here.
That's what I mean. That's they have that thing of, I can't believe we're still here as a band. Like, that's the phase of band that they're in right now.
Yeah, you could tell that they were having fun last night.
Right.
Whereas 10 years ago, they weren't having that much fun.
Because that's that hump you have to get over where it's like, I can't believe I still have to stare at fucking Lars. I'm still, after all these years, that ankle weight is locked on me, and I can't get him away from me. Whereas now, you're like, look at this. 30 years later, however long it's been, I'm looking at the same guy and we're playing the same tunes. Let's do Enter Sandman.
We're all really, really rich.
Yeah. We got a ton of dough.
Every artist has to go through that, though, that is around for an extended period of time. Like, I remember, like, even in like the 80s and 90s, like, nobody cared about Paul McCartney. He couldn't do a song that was relevant. Like, after I think the songs with Michael Jackson kind of killed him.
And the songs with Michael Jackson was almost out of desperation. Like, Paul McCartney being like, well, maybe if I do something with Michael.
He's cool, I'll be cool.
Exactly.
And it made Paul really not cool. And then,
you don't like Say?
No, I don't think that's some of his greatest work. And then it's kind of like right after in the 2000s rolled around, he put out an acoustic album, and all of a sudden it was like he was amazing.
He did that live special. It was it back in the USA or something?
Yeah.
And that to me was like, whoa, this guy's kind of awesome. It had run its course to where you forgot what it was. My favorite post Beatles thing that ever happened though was a video for George Harrison set on you, got my mind set on you with the singing animals on the wall.
Right.
That was that when I was a kid, that was like, I looked forward to that. When you used to have to watch MTV and wait for your video that you liked, it was all worthwhile when I saw the singing animals on the wall.
Wasn't that the song for Look Who's Talking or one of those movies?
That's entirely possible.
George Harrison did very well as a solo artist. I think better than most people give him credit for, because people talk about McCartney and John Lennon all the time, but Harrison, he had his hits.
Did he? I don't know.
Got my mind set on you.
That's the only one I remember.
He didn't even write that song, I don't think.
So maybe he doesn't deserve credit at all.
But I mean, he wrote, he had some big, Something, which is a Beatles song on Abbey Road. That's arguably one of the biggest Beatles songs, and he wrote it.
Yeah, but bro, Paul McCartney existed after the Beatles. I know George Harrison had his issues, but what did you do after the Beatles? Got my mind set on you. If that's the only thing, then I completely take back my statement.
He put out an album right after the Beatles, All Things Must Pass, and he kind of blew his load on that one.
Did he?
Yeah, he put out some pretty shitty music in the late 70s. And then, like, 80s, he came back and he did Traveling Wilburys. A lot of people like them. I really wasn't that big a fan of that. But
No. Wasn't Wings.
And just
What is?
there's a Beatles channel starting today on Sirius XM.
I know. I'm excited about it. Everybody around here is excited. I overheard in the kitchen yesterday. They were the buzz was about the intro for the channel, how the channel is going to start. Everybody's it's a huge company thing where
You only
they're
have to do it once.
Right, and like all the bosses are listening to everybody, and they've been riding, like the poor guys who do production around here have had their asses ridden for the last month to make sure this Beatles channel sounds amazing. Yeah. And I bet it will. I'll bet it'll pay off because there's a lot of talented people around here, and when there's an initiative in this company and there's sort of a pedal to the metal put to something, it turns out well.
Well, like the Beatles are so enormous, and they have this ridiculous fan base that will analyze and break down everything to a point where if whatever they do, someone's going to be mad at, because the Beatles have that fan base. Same thing with Metallica. Like anything they did for like anything post Black Album, basically. Oh, this isn't it. This isn't what made Metallica great, and people want to they rage against it and they're mad at it.
Even the Black Album.
Right.
For.
Anything after Cliff, like they just didn't like because it wasn't Metallica. But the Beatles or any of these bands that are larger than life and have these followings. To me, that's almost like extra stress.
Yeah.
Like if you open with the wrong song at this stadium show full of people are going to be pissed at you.
Right.
Like that's the sort. It's a different sort of stress, but it's still a stress.
That's the cycle. Like you have to just stay on board. You have to realize there's going to be maybe a decade, maybe 2 decades of he's washed up. Who cares about him? If you can just hang on and get to that place where you're a legend, then I think it starts to get really fun.
Right.
Then you get to Metallica status. You get to McCartney status, where you can do whatever you want.
That's why I retired from wrestling at 32.
Yeah.
I got that phase out of the way early. So
Get
I'm
it
like,
done
I'm just going
early.
to try to,
Yeah.
by the time I'm 40, maybe I'll hit a status and then I can fade off into the sunset.
That's it. 50, you retire.
Right.
You just hang.
And I do reunion shows on bingo halls.
Right. I don't know if wrestling has the same circle of life.
Stop it, Sam. Whatever keeps me going, all right?
Let's go to TJ in North Carolina. What's up, TJ?
Hey, guys, what's up? You're doing a great job. Love it.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to bring up Bruce Springsteen. I just read his whole book, and he talks about just depression his whole life and how suicide crossed his mind many times and how he's been on, pills to keep his mental status, positive. I mean, if Bruce Springsteen can't be positive, I might as well kill myself.
Well, maybe Bruce needs to run a couple less shows. He's on tour every day of the year. If he would just relax for a second, I feel like he just does the same song over and over again anyway. So if he would just chill out for a second and maybe do half the shows and spend some time just living life as a person, and not have to worry about putting on that whatever he wears under his shirt, the thing to make his gut not show, then maybe he wouldn't be so depressed all the time.
Yeah, well, he says playing in concert is his way out of depression. So who knows? The guy probably never puts down his guitar,
Yeah, maybe that's why he plays like 3.5, 4-hour shows.
Because he doesn't want to go home.
He doesn't want to go back to reality.
I don't want to think.
You know what he should do instead of that? Hardcore therapy. Maybe therapy. If,
Right.
Concerts are my therapy. Well, in that case, therapy should be your therapy.
I'd rather be on stage and play for 4 hours than go home to my wife and kids too. So.
You know what the difference is too? When you're Bruce and you have to go to real therapy, it's going to cost you a lot of money. When you stand up on stage and get your therapy that way, all those eyes that are looking at you, they're all dollar
They're
signs
paying
as
you,
well.
yeah.
They're all paying you. All right, guys, punching out.
I'll
Thanks.
talk to you later, pal. Let's go to Dan in Florida. What's up, Dan?
Hey guys, speaking of the Metallica point, they're having a great time. They kicked off their tour, I think last week in Baltimore or 2 weeks ago, and they did their rehearsal before their first show in front of 300 live people and put it on Facebook Live for the whole world.
Whoa, Lars was okay with that? Facebook Live is the new Napster. You don't want them stealing it.
I know. My brother interviewed Lars. He said my brother's a reporter down there. Mm-hmm. He interviewed Lars for 10 minutes. He said Lars was just a cool dude and had a great time. And all I can think about is my fucking knapsack, huh? I told him you have to listen to that, my brother.
Well, thanks, buddy. Thank you, Dan. Maybe Lars has gotten there, and there's also probably the fact that the whole Napster debacle, because that really, really hurt Metallica.
Yeah.
With young people.
Well, it was a bunch of things in a row. The first one was in the grunge era. They started trying to make grunge music.
Yeah,
they cut off all their hair. That pissed off the metal guys.
Oh yeah,
they started wearing makeup.
They all did it together. I remember when they first. What was that for? Load.
It was
Load and Reload.
Yeah, and I think the Rolling Stone cover had the caption and shortcuts for all. And I remember seeing that. I was in a record store back when those existed.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this is not that band that I like. What's happening?
I remember being in I was probably, I don't know, I was a teenager. And I was in a supermarket, and I picked up an issue of whatever the metal magazine went, Hit Parader or Revolver, whatever was out then. And I just saw a photo of all the guys from Metallica with badass faces on, but they all cut their hair short. And just as a kid, my first response to that was, "Oh, Metallica sucks now." I didn't know, but I just saw the 4 guys there with short hair, and I was like, "Oh, I guess now they suck."
And a lot of metal people feel like they sort of turn their back on metal in that period
Because they wanted to be more like what was on trend.
and they were wanting to play Lollapalooza at that time,
Right.
And there's bands like Pantera. They never stopped being metal. Slayer never stopped being metal all through the '90s when it wasn't cool to be metal.
Somebody stopped Pantera from being really metal.
Wow, yeah,
Stop it.
That's a little tough.
Stop it.
But yeah, no, they didn't stop. Metallica is much richer now for it, and they're now a legendary band as opposed to a legendary metal band.
Credibility. You want your credibility too, though.
You do. You have to have it.
I am more than willing to compromise my credibility for dollar signs.
You
any
are?
day. Oh yeah.
So you'll
absolutely.
sell out.
Already have.
You have. Okay, you're done. You're soulless at this point.
That's right.
Right, but you got some money for
zeros in my bank account.
Yeah. See, I don't think I was blessed. I was put on this planet without credibility to begin with. So I don't have to worry about that ever, I don't think.
You're just playing with house money.
Right. I don't think anybody will ever accuse me of selling out because I don't think anybody ever really caught what the essence of Sam Roberts was to begin with. They're just like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing now.
Just don't cut your hair.
No, that's the one thing I can't do.
Yeah,
These photos are amazing.
Yeah, this era of Metallica is pretty cheese.
We're looking at the load and reload era, and it really is. In hindsight, they went hardcore 90s butt rock, not metal.
Kirk Hammett still manages to look sort of cool though. He's just got that vibe that no matter what he does, he still kind of looks okay. The rest of them, not so much.
I think Kirk Hammett has a vibe of this wasn't my idea. just so you know,
I'll go along with it, but it's not my idea.
Yeah. And by the way, immediately go to the photo with the purple backdrop.
Where's that?
Right down there, right to your right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Look who grew his hair back. Who's the one guy who's like,
Yep.
no.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Who's Kirk?
And he's been in here. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
Kirk
He's
was awesome when he was in here.
Yeah, he loves horror movies. He's just a guy who likes his stuff.
He's a guy that's spending his money on what I would spend my money on if I had Kirk Hammett money, like shit that I like.
Yeah, exactly. Hobby stuff. Anthony in New Jersey, what's up, pal?
How you doing, bud? So I think the other thing is not only that they just cut their hair and they wanted to play grunge, but they released 3 shitty albums in a row and did 4 versions of Unforgiven. I mean, that's really what sunk Metallica for the longest time.
You didn't need all 4 versions of Unforgiven?
No, I mean, and even when they had that documentary out, you saw them say, yeah, well, we kind of put Reload together just with some extra shit that we had from Load. I mean, basically admitting that, hey, we sucked for a bit and it was our fault.
Was it? But didn't the documentary do a lot to pussify them, too, when that movie first came out?
Yeah.
Like the fact that the gods of metal are going to group therapy together and listening to this one fucking wiener telling them what to do, I think did not...
that James Hetfield also took his daughter to freaking ballet in that documentary.
Right.
Which was really undercut him a bit, I would think.
Why? Because he took his daughter to ballet?
Can't do that, dude.
Mr. Metal himself is going to a ballet class? Come on, seriously.
Yeah. You can't do it, dude. Don't get caught on camera. Those tattoos. You might as well get the tattoos removed off
I am
your
going
neck.
to my son's baseball game tonight. I don't care what anybody says.
That's cutting it close. That's okay, I think, because it's baseball. It's guy stuff, but...
He looks like Hetfield looks like Negan from Walking Dead in that photo
with the handlebar stash.
Yeah.
Hetfield was just on Joe Rogan a little bit ago. Mm-hmm. And it's just one of those things that just make him more lovable. He lives in Colorado now. He hunts. He goes and hunts his food. He grows his own. So he's
become Ted Nugent.
He's become very lovable. You know, he's like a man's man.
Let me go to Matt in Michigan. What's up, Matt?
Yeah, what you were talking about, Metallica trying to be on Lollapalooza, I saw them in '95, I think it was, with Soundgarden, the Ramones, and Metallica was the headliners of that Lollapalooza. And then right after that, when Load came out, we went and we're from the same hometown as Jason Newsted, and we sent Jason Newsted a letter for their 3-night sold-out show in Chicago.
You sent him a letter?
And, yeah, we went to Will Hall, and Will Hall actually gave him the letter at the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago.
So you go to the ticket booth and you're like, hey, can you give this to Jason?
Yeah, and they did. They called our hotel room, and he gave us backstage passes and tickets to the sold-out show. And then he pulled he did some weird shit where security started yelling for us and put us inside the barricade right up against the stage for the whole damn show.
So there you go. Let Matt's tale, thank you, Matt, be a lesson. Any of you who want to see your favorite band, go backstage, whatever, everybody give Will Call letters. Just inundate them with letters. Oh, my God. This is breaking now. Roger Ailes just died?
What?
From Fox News. It's just being reported on TV right now.
Oh, man.
MSNBC. Fox News isn't reporting it. I saw it on CNN a minute ago, and MSNBC is reporting that Roger Ailes is dead. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Who would have thought Chris Cornell and Roger Ailes on the same day? Talk about two different ends of the spectrum.
Maybe Roger couldn't handle it.
He's like, not Soundgarden. No.
First I lose Fox News.
Yeah. Then I lose all that sweet tang. now Soundgarden. No. Roger Ailes is dead at 77. He didn't look like he was in the pinnacle of health. I can't say the exact same thing about Chris Cornell that I say about Roger Ailes. It was probably something to do with health in human beings. But man, unless he just needed, maybe it's one of those things, they say there are people who work. It controls their life. And the minute they retire.
Take that away, yeah, like Joe Paterno.
Right.
Penn State.
Exactly.
He was, 80-something years old, coached till the last, and the whole scandal goes down, and like 2 weeks later, he drops dead.
That's it. Maybe when you're that old, you can't handle a thing like that. You can't handle a scandal like that. That's got to be so stressful, especially since like Paterno, who was probably a nice man who made some bad decisions and was like he probably had guilt, I'm saying, over what happened.
Possibly.
Right. So Ailes, though, was like, he was doing this I don't think Ailes had guilt about what he did. That's my opinion on it, because he was accused of doing what he did for so long to so many people. He probably was stressed and fighting this the entire time. He probably didn't think that he deserved to be kicked out of Fox.
I don't know, man. I mean, if you're fighting this and trying to cover all this stuff up and it comes out and you really, all told, get off pretty easy, like, I'm just moving to the middle of nowhere and just living my life. The guy's got more money than God.
Right.
So what? So, they smeared his name? Like, people forgot about it. I didn't even think about it until the last, when was the last time his name was even on the news? When it all went down a couple months ago. Now, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot about that guy.
He could have disappeared, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes. Because he was never an on-air personality. He wasn't this guy. It's just industry would have remembered forever. But the general public, who cares?
I'm sure a guy like that, too, is concerned about his legacy. You know what I mean? He's probably very upset because he thinks that he's going to die and he's going to be looked at as like this, mastermind, and he, who knows?
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, for so many guys where it's, about the money, so many of these millionaire businessmen, whatever, it's not about the money, it's the work.
True.
And and so it's about making the money, but there's never enough to be happy with. It's just about having more and having more and the fact that he can't do it anymore. Oh, speaking of making money.
What?
Star of the hit television show Billions.
Oh, yeah. You should tell him I'm wearing shorts from Dillard's. So it's not, I don't really know how much money is being made.
Yeah.
I'm wearing outlet shorts.
Yeah. I was going to say you don't look like your character on Billions, but I could see your character on Billions wearing shorts from Dillard's. He doesn't make the best decisions.
Showing some high knee.
So,
I get it.
Roger Ailes is dead.
What?
Did you hear about Chris Cornell?
Shut the fuck. Don't tell me Chris Cornell's dead.
Yeah.
You didn't know.
Chris Cornell died.
You're fucking with me.
It broke. No, I swear to God. So you should.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It broke this morning. Chris Cornell died. And that broke at like 5 o'clock this morning.
I hate that fucking Trequan's filming me like this is a prank show. I know you got to do it. I know. But it feels so morbid that one of my favorite singers is dead.
Right.
And then you're like, what's his face going to do?
Right.
I'm upset. What? Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck Roger Ailes.
Right.
Chris Cornell?
He's dead. And he's 52. They don't know. I mean,
not anymore.
Well, he was 52. He was forever 52.
You're sick fuck.
Do you get to be 52 forever?
Are you an old Irish mom who just chimes in with that?
Well, he's not fucking, what he's not going to be. It's Christmas this year.
Yeah, I know. God damn it. Are you serious?
I didn't want to have to break this to you, buddy. We just talked about it for a while.
Oh, I'm going to be listening to so much Soundgarden today.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He was on tour with Soundgarden.
Played a show last night.
Yep.
What did he die of?
They don't know.
Please don't be autoerotic asphyxiation.
You wouldn't want that.
I don't want it to be a sex thing.
Travis just said that they're looking into a possible suicide. They found him on the bathroom floor of his hotel room.
That'll make just like Suicide off Super Unknown super dark.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, dude. The Roger Ailes, I mean, way to bury that. You were like, Roger Ailes is dead. I'm like, yeah, well, fucking okay. Chris Cornell, and it's like, I wanted to fight you.
Well, Roger Ailes is like, so that's what's, I mean, we're going to stay on the air until people stop dying today. That's the goal of the show this morning.
We're already at 2. I mean, the show, we still got a couple hours left.
Yeah.
Who else is going to drop?
I don't know.
They go in 3s, right? That's
If Mr. Bean dies?
Well, here's the thing.
I don't know why. That just seems like in the middle.
We're wide open right now.
Yeah,
Because if we're going from Chris Cornell to Roger Ailes, the third could literally be anybody, right? Where there's no theme to this. White men. It's white men is the theme.
God, and he died on his bathroom floor with a better torso than I'll ever have.
That's what I was saying.
At 52.
Look at his fucking torso. Look at his head of hair. God. Look at the fact that he can still
some
sing.
of the best pipes ever.
And let's all kill ourselves. What's the point if he can't do it,
man,
right?
I never got to see. There was a show in 2008, and I was fucking dead broke as a taco waiter, and it was at the Gorge in is the Gorge in Washington? I think.
Yes.
Washington. Yeah. And like my friend that's from Seattle says it's the greatest venue.
Gorge is in my pants with all this Roger Ailes talk.
No, what?
What?
Wow. How do you get hyped up from that?
No, I mean the other stuff, the scandal stuff, not the.
But it was Soundgarden with Mastodon opening and Queens of the Stone Age opening, and I was like. That was the one show where I was like, man, I should have fought harder to go see that. Because I have a buddy who works at the end, and he was like, I can get you a ticket if you get out here. And I just didn't have money for the fucking plane ticket. And then it's like one of those shows where right when you said that, I was like, I should have fucking worked harder to see that show.
And I've heard that's one of the best venues to see anything.
Well, that's pouring salt in the wound, Travis. Thank you for that.
He goes, honestly, I heard from the Gorge, you can actually talk to your dead dad if you have one. So it just sucks. It just
that's
has
in
to
the
play
VIP package?
Yeah. You just have to play the right package.
So far, Travis is in the making Dan Soder hurt worse business today.
Dude, he really
I honestly figured Dan would have known about Chris Cornell.
Yeah, me too.
You want to know what happened? I woke up late. I got on a 2 full subway. And then talked to Colin Quinn before I walked in. And I didn't even look at my phone. I didn't even look at the Twitter or Instagram.
Was you on the phone?
Yeah, because I was making fun of Colin last night. And he goes, you had a fucking good insult. I said he looked like an encyclopedia salesman. And it got nothing at the cellar. And then he called me to let me know.
So you were sitting there on the phone with Colin Quinn while Chris Cornell was dead and you didn't even know.
All right.
Some fan.
Some
fan.
You guys are really doing a good job of portraying my family.
Yeah, that's it.
And like a weird, fucked up.
I thought you were a fan.
So fucking bad. God damn it.
Yeah. He's Gonski. And you know what? You missed this concert because you had to work. You were serving tacos and you couldn't find the money and everything.
Yeah.
Graves could have seen him last week. He just decided not to because he went to his buddy's wedding instead.
Yeah, I was in Tampa. No, the wedding was the next night. I had literally. I mean, we had pre-wedding things to do. You know, as groomsmen.
You got to go to like the rehearsal.
Yeah. No, it was a great time anyway. But yeah, I was invited by a friend whose band was playing on the same show. And
you missed the last time Chris Cornell.
Wait, you had an in like that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
sucked,
I mean,
man.
I had the businessmen need their lunch tacos, but you could have skipped out on your friend's rehearsal dinner.
By the way, you know what's amazing about the legacy of Roger Ailes? Look at those news networks. CNN, former Fox News chief Roger Ailes dead. MSNBC, Fox News chief Roger Ailes dead at 77.
I thought you were going to say the fact that all the women are smoking hot.
Yeah, well, that was his legacy. I want journalism out of hot women's face.
Look at the hot women on Fox and Friends. Nothing about Roger Ailes. Sorry, you'll have to go to one of the other channels if you want to hear about the guy who put all this together.
They really do. Like, Fox News, when they're done with you, you've never been there.
Done.
Do you think they're going to do that with O'Reilly? Like, over the years, like, he just never existed there?
Yeah.
Like, they're just going to be like, fuck him.
I think
he wasn't here.
Yeah, and you'll ask, and they'll be like, hey, who's your big nighttime guy? And they'll be like, Tucker. Always has been, always will be. Tucker Carlson. He's our guy.
Since day one. He's carried this network on his bow tie.
When nobody
Is he
thought...
the bow tie one?
He was, not anymore, though.
He's not anymore?
No, he switched to a straight tie. He's big boy. He's big boy style now.
He really does look like a kid going to church.
But not anymore.
With the tie, even with the long tie.
I thought you were talking about the kid going to church on television.
Yeah, I thought that was Tucker Carlson. I was like, oh wait, no, it's a child. Yeah, they're mafia. Like, they're like, I don't know the guy.
Yeah.
You're like, Roger Ailes is dead. They're like, who's Roger Ailes?
Never heard of the guy.
They had never been at Roger Ailes that worked here. My buddy worked at Fox News, my old roommate, under Roger Ailes, and he said like when Roger Ailes got fired, it fucked his resume up beyond belief.
Really?
Because he was like, my buddy's like this Mexican dude from Arizona, like into like, I'm going to talk to him about Soundgarden. We were roommates for 6 years. He's one of my best friends. And he's like into like stoner metal and all this shit. And he just got a good job at Fox News and worked his way up. And then he left to move back to Arizona, and he's like trying to move back to New York, and Roger Ailes died. He's like, dude, my whole fucking resume is just fucked.
He's just looking at his letter of recommendation from Roger Ailes, like, oh, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah, he's going to burn it in a candle. It's going to create a spirit. I'm so fucking bummed out right now.
About Roger?
Yes.
Yeah, I get that.
The guy took news to a different level.
Finally, Fox News hits that Roger Ailes is dead at the top of the hour.
Oh, they got him in a real...
It's just a bumper before commercial. They're not even going to address it.
This is just goddamn disrespectful at this point.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Do you think those people in the news world are going to react the way the people in the music world are? Like they're just going to Instagram photos of Chris Cornell all day long. There's just going to be so many photos of Roger Ailes all over everything.
Like, I remember in 1999 where I was when I heard Roger Ailes say for the first time, "More hot chicks that are less versed in journalism."
Yeah, you're going to be having an amazing theme going on across the Instagrams of people who are now news reporters that started as Victoria's Secret models.
Yeah.
Like those.
They're going to be like, "I remember Roger told me I had to stop being at car shows and I had to start reporting on presidential elections."
I just worked my way up Fox News with my mouth.
Yeah. Bill and Roger, where they spearheaded my career.
Literally.
The devil's threesome I received at the new. Oh, fucking Chris Cornell.
O'Reilly's
Look at
sitting
this.
there going
This
like
is Instagram right now. It is solely Chris Cornell and a dog that does not belong to me.
You know what's really going to piss me off is some of the people that I know don't like Soundgarden. Right. Make an overly emotional post.
Yeah.
Where they're like, "I remember Super Unknown in 7th grade."
Right.
And you're like, shut the fuck up.
Do you
on
know
a day like today, I wish the black hole sun would wash away the rain.
I think at a young age, Soundgarden's biggest contribution to my life was when they did the Black Hole Sun video on Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was the greatest thing.
Dude, I completely remember that with the weird eyes bugging out and Beavis and Butthead. That's actually a great episode of Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, I want to put that tweet out though as my memorial tweet. Like they did amazing things for visual effects and music videos.
Yeah.
What? That's what you remember Chris Cornell for?
The ocular contribution that they made to music.
They revolutionized the fisheye lens.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, man. That sucks.
So welcome to the show, Dan Soder. I'm glad everything's going well for you.
Yeah.
Not so well for the Cornell family.
All right. You could call your friend Sam a little more once in a while. I'm just going to get fucking guilted this whole show.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think I was just knowing that I'm going to unfollow people on Instagram that do too emotional of a post.
Yeah.
And if they do their lyrics in the comment section, I'm like,
yeah.
It's time to let you go.
You can't do that.
Yeah, you got to go.
4th of July is the greatest, which, by the way, we can all say is the greatest Soundgarden song. Most underrated.
What is?
4th of July, Super Unknown.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know Soundgarden's catalog very well at all, but sure.
Cool.
I'll take your word for it.
I'm sorry that your Chris Cornell and Roger Ailes died.
Do you know, Sam didn't know the catalog very well, but he has already posted an Instagram photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's shadowy. Like it's like he's a spirit now.
That's a real thing now, though. Like people take death and use it for attention.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I really noticed
you got to
that.
get the likes up.
I really noticed that, I remember when Greg Giraldo died, and I'm a massive fan of Greg Giraldo. I think he's one of the greatest comedians of all time. I didn't know him. And when he died, there were like comics that I knew that were like kind of open micers and coming up, and they're like, one time Greg Giraldo looked at me in the eyes and said, "Keep going forward," and you're like, "Fuck you, dude."
That's like Joe DeRosa, who had to get his tattoo because Carlin said, "Keep kicking him in the nuts."
Oh God, I love Joe DeRosa, one of my closest friends.
He's great,
and he got that tattoo, and he thought it meant so much, and then someone else goes, "Yeah, dude, he tells everyone that," and he's like, "God damn it, God fucking what?"
Somebody tweeted a photo when we were talking about it. It's how Carlin used to sign his autographs.
Oh, that stings on a different level.
He would tell it to fans.
That's like I got an autograph from Dwight Clark, the San Francisco 49er, and he wrote "Best Wishes," and that's like if I got best wishes.
You have "Best Wishes" tattooed on you, don't you?
Fuck, it's down my forearm in Old English.
Well, he meant a lot to me, and he once told me best wishes, so he wanted my wishes to be
I met
best.
George Carlin once. He said, "Excuse me." It had a profound effect on me, so I had it tattooed on my fucking arm. God damn it.
Yeah. Did you ever meet Chris Cornell?
No. I'm not going to be.
I met him.
Listen, okay. Well, you don't even know 4th of July off Super Unknown.
Here's the
Can you
tweet.
name Can you name 3 albums?
Albums?
Yeah.
Black Hole Sun. Was that an album?
That was a song.
Okay. Well, the album that was on is an album.
I'm going to have to help you pick all the rejoin music, unless you want to do Roger Ailes speeches on the way back.
Well, I figured the rejoin music. Travis went to see Metallica last night, so we'll do Metallica rejoin.
Sounds good.
Yeah, cool. I like
I'm gonna
Metallica.
fucking go through that goddamn wall, and I'll get Travis, and I'll choke him out.
Metallica's badass. I like Metallica.
Yeah, and Metallica's going to be on tour for the rest of the goddamn summer. You know who's
said
not
about
on tour?
Soundgarden.
Yeah. Damn it. You cocksucker.
They're scheduled to be on tour the rest of the summer.
You really do love throwing salt in the wound.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, man. I always hate when, people I like die.
That's what makes you unique and special, Dan Soder.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
Roger
one of the
Ailes,
things about you.
Good riddance. Chris Cornell, no.
Yeah, it's sad. It's so sad. My tweet when I tweeted, but I just said I'm shocked because I was shocked.
Okay.
Were you also saddened?
No, I didn't say saddened.
That always follows.
But I said he was always cool. He was a great guest when he was in studio or something like that.
Hashtag never forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag change my life. Hashtag look up. Hashtag thank the heavens. Hashtag goodbye, friend.
That's okay, right? That's not taking on
Hashtag
more.
say hello to heaven.
That's it. Yeah.
Say hello to heaven for me. That's fucking great.
Heaven's got a black
See,
hole in
that's
the
a great
sun.
Chris Cornell reference, but that went right over your head.
How about this? He's
Temple of the Dog.
He's in heaven right now with his cover of Billie Jean. Does that work?
Can we go to break so we can attack Sam?
Dude, I've always wanted to be in a handicap match on Corey Graves' side, so this will be even better. Fucking, we're gonna put you through a table.
But that's an okay tweet because I didn't take ownership of more than was mine, right?
Yeah, I just feel like social media really has led us. Like, I try to think back to if social media was around when like some of my family members have died, the important ones, and if I would, I don't think I ever still would go on there and like, this is
about your family member. No, I hate it when people do that.
It's just very like.
I don't even do that about my dog. Like, oh, I lost a friend. I mean, I guess I don't know.
Listen,
I've done it exactly twice. I did it when Dusty died because I was very close with Dusty. I worked with him every day. And
That's also a public thing,
right? Right, and also one of my best friends that I used to work in a tattoo shop. He died, and I that's twice because that was personal.
It's real life.
It was real, and it does help with the grieving process.
If you put it out there, I'm saying like I understand putting it out there to be like, hey, I lost somebody, but then when like there's people that like use it, like they use it like, hey, someone died, and you're like, I am so sorry, and then like a week later they're like, still feeling you, buddy, I miss you, and you're like, okay,
stop doing that.
Okay, I'm trying to look at bikini models right now, on Instagram, and you're really fucking the flow up, But I understand people putting it out there just once.
Right.
Well, you weren't here for the conversation I had to have with Sam to get him through the show today because he's still mourning David Bowie.
Right.
He's that torn up still.
David Bowie was my prince. Ground Control.
David Bowie dying
to Major Tom
really showed you all
it's
the.
My favorite song, Ground Control to Major Tom. It's my favorite David Bowie song.
I like the one where he's Ziggy. That's a comic. Oh god damn it! Oh, there's Stardust at the end.
I like what made me a David Bowie fan was the songs from Labyrinth.
I liked his work on Flight of the Conchords, that first episode in season 1. Yeah, when David Bowie died, you really saw everyone who was cool in middle school. Mm-hmm. And I remember those kids were the ones that always were like mean to me because they're like, you don't even like David Bowie. And you're like, I don't know anything. I like wrestling and comic books.
Right.
I'm fucking 11. I don't know. I have an alcoholic mother. I don't know what's happening. And they're like, how do you not know about the Clash? And you're like, I don't know. I'm worried about getting beat up all the time. Yeah, but like when David Bowie died, you really saw when people get pretentious. And I feel like I think Chris Cornell could be a pretentious one.
Yeah.
Where you're going to get people who are like, slaves and bulldozers.
I liked some of his early work.
Yeah. I liked it before he was in even Soundgarden.
Rusty Cage?
Yeah, great.
That's a song.
Do you know who covered it and won a Grammy for it?
Michael Jackson?
I hate you.
Well, he did Billie Jean, so I figured maybe there was a...
Just go buy the album live on the 5. It's Soundgarden Live.
I like that the Goblin King's on the screen right now.
Look at that package.
I remember I liked David Bowie when I was 8, and I remember just being like, "This sounds original." I like what he does with his style. That's how you knew who was going to be a hipster, who was fucking bragging about like, I didn't know shit in middle school. Comics do that sometimes with their influences. You'll hear comics like in pretentious interviews where they're like, I used to listen to Lenny Bruce when I was a kid. And you're like, no, you didn't.
Yeah. Did not.
Yeah.
Because Lenny Bruce isn't funny to any kid. No kid thinks Lenny Bruce is funny.
I loved Robin Williams, Dana Carvey, and Eddie Murphy.
You know why?
They did voices and they were weird.
And they make fun faces.
They make such fun faces.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Steve Martin made a whole career off of it.
Yeah. And then kids are like, I've read a couple interviews with comics like that where they're like, and then I really liked Abbott and Costello. And like, how?
No, you didn't.
Who's showing you this?
Right. When you're a kid, you put on those like old, you're like, this is old TV, and so that's not entertaining. I like new things because I'm young.
I'm very lucky that I was like one of the first generations to have Comedy Central, and they just put on stand-up all the time. So you're like, I'm learning about it through this.
Right. But they're contemporary stand-ups.
It wasn't like, they weren't showing fucking like old school Catskill comics where I'm like, this guy's got a good premise, setup, and punchline.
Right. It's important to learn your history if you're really going to, what?
I go, that dude just blew up a fucking surgical glove on his head with his nose. This guy's a genius.
Right.
And, I still feel the same about Howie Mandel.
By the way, I really think that MSNBC is rubbing it in because all the other news channels have moved on, and MSNBC is basically doing nonstop coverage of Roger Ailes.
And they keep snickering after everything. They go, Roger Ailes, dead at 77.
Yeah.
They said that. They said he'll never run the network again. I'm sorry. I'm so broken up right now.
Yeah.
They do the finger thing, the little finger shimmy, like when someone hits a home run. Like, all right. Roger Ailes, dead at 77. Put him in the ground.
That really low, subtle instrumental version of Ding Dong the Witch is Dead is playing.
Coming back in from commercial.
Right. But it's just done with a violin. So it's like, no, this is just sad music. I didn't realize.
Oh yeah, they really. Fox News is like, what do we got? Roger Ailes dead.
Graves was
Also,
right. It was a bumper into break.
I'm telling you.
And we're back with the news. It's the news. What's today? What's happening now?
Can shampooing your dog be bad for you?
Right.
Roger Ailes is dead.
Hey, I want you to know that Roger Ailes is dead. But back to all the other networks lying to you about Donald Trump.
Fucking Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell he's a goner.
I mean, the way you said it to me, I was like, oh, fuck you. Like, that's a mean joke. She's like, Roger Ailes dead. Also, Chris Cornell's dead. And I'm like, what? That's a weird joke.
Yeah, no, we got to watch the journey on your face as it was all was it 7 stages of grieving? All of them in 4 seconds.
You can't tell how I react. Anger's always first.
I was like, as I looked at your face, I was like, there's his father issues.
Yeah, I go, oh yeah, motherfucker. Oh, there it all comes. Fuck, dude.
Rod in Canada has a theory. Rod, welcome to Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. Dan Soder and Corey Graves are here.
Hey guys, how's it going there? How's Soder Pop?
Hey, how
Danny
are ya?
Fizzlesticks is doing really well.
Motherfuckers.
By the way, he's going to be on May 27th at Laugh It Up in Poughkeepsie, and he will give you a free T-shirt if you call him Danny Fizz.
That's not even true. I don't even have T-shirts. You fucking liar.
Just shout out from the stage. He throws T-shirts from the stage. He's up there, and you go,
swear to God,
Danny Fizz!
If one person yells out Danny Fizzlesticks, I'm rock bottoming you the next time I see you.
Danny Fizzlesticks in the house.
Jim's going to be like, hey, it's Jim Norton with Dan Soder because Sam Norton's having neck surgery because Soder
First of
fucking
all,
rock
who's
bottomed.
Sam Norton. We're not married.
Well, you should be because now you guys are common law husbands.
Go on, Rod.
Yeah, I know everybody's talking maybe suicide and whatnot, but, it could be an aneurysm.
Chris Cornell?
I hope to God you're right. I really hope it is like, now that he's dead, it's not weird to say I hope he has an aneurysm.
Right,
but I hope it is.
No, I'm with you, though.
If it's a heart attack or aneurysm, it's like way better. Because if it's suicide, it's so much more depressing.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, all that stuff isn't just music. That's real life.
Because remember, Robin Williams died. Everyone's like, oh, man, like, he killed himself? And then, like, 3 weeks later, you're like, all right, we can make jokes about it, though, right?
Yeah, because, it's Robin Williams.
I mean, but also the way he went out. He hung himself, like,
Yeah.
But then, like, I don't know, man. Fuck.
Chris Cornell.
I hope it's an aneurysm. Money on it. Should we put a death pool? Should we do a little bet?
Hashtag aneurysm, please.
Yeah, please. Begging for an aneurysm.
I'm going to go autoerotic asphyxiation, just because you didn't think it would happen to Kung Fu either, and it did.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, David
Carradine. Yeah, and the guy from InXS, too, right?
Yeah.
Michael Hutchins.
You know what's weird? That would kind of add it to a power group.
Right. That's a very elite
Yeah.
And you know what? He probably didn't even do it regularly. He's probably like, I keep hearing about this autoerotic asphyxiation.
I'm going to do it with lit candles.
Right. Right, exactly.
How big of a bummer would that be if you had to walk into a bathroom and blow out the candles after you found a body?
Yeah.
You go, okay, I don't want the house, but I don't want to die too.
Right.
Just blowing out all. Yeah. Have you seen Norm Macdonald's new special on Netflix?
I have not.
It's fucking terrific.
I'm sure it
got
is.
a great autoerotic asphyxiation joke.
He does?
Yeah.
That's good.
It's very good.
Jeremy in Rochester, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, what's going on?
What's up, Jeremy?
Hi.
Listen, I had a thought originally. Shut the fuck up, Dan. Listen,
Listen, I like to hear someone else is fired up about Chris Cornell too.
It's funny because you talk about these stories. I do remember I was about 11 years old. My parents took me out for my birthday every year. Every year they take me out for my birthday. Remember back when CD stores, the CD boxes were like 18 inches long.
Yeah.
And fucking, I remember the first 2 CDs I ever bought with my own money was Pearl Jam's 10 and Super Unknown by Soundgarden, and fucking my dad was like, what the hell is this shit? This sucks. Anyway, fucking, I just want you guys to be aware, man.
And now you're a grown man telling Dan Soder to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Look at how the tables have turned. You've become your father.
Look at me. As I'm about to go into my 9 to 5 that pays me $8.58 an hour. Oh boy, I'm such a big man.
No wonder you're so mad.
Just listen.
Things,
just know you have better.
So upset, right?
I forgive you for yelling at me, and know you have better musical taste than your daughter.
Graves.
I'm just trying to figure out where this hostility is coming from. Like, what was the?
And isn't it fun? We talk about Soder's family issues. Isn't it funny to watch him like, shut the fuck up, Soder? Okay, you got it.
I go, I'm just gonna let you know I'm gonna resent you for 20 years now.
Yeah, it's all in his head. He's like, I'm not gonna fight back, but I hate him.
The hostility, honestly, comes from the fact that these things happen in threes, and so now I'm just waiting for the last one to drop.
Son of a bitch.
Well, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I hope it's you.
Well, let's all hope it's Eddie Vedder, to be honest with you.
I hope, if it is him, I hope his daughter sues the shit out of you for some weird law.
Oh, I hope it's not you, Jeremy.
Man, I forgot about the fucking dumb 3 rule.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later. Yeah. We were talking about that and how wide the spectrum has been made now because of Roger and Chris. It's like as far wide as you could get, so it could be anybody.
I'm trying to guess who I would be cool with dying in the middle of that spectrum.
Well,
I feel like it's like giving up a trade. You're like, who do you want to trade? And you're like,
Corey Graves made the point earlier that this is like Eddie Vedder is the last remaining, like I'm the last professional broadcaster. Eddie Vedder is the last of the grunge powerhouses now. Because everybody else is gone.
Lead singer wise, yeah. Dave Grohl.
Is he grunge though? I mean,
he was there, but he
because Foo Fighters as a front man, he's not a grunge front man.
No,
right.
But he was in Nirvana, so he's cursed. Shit. I'm trying to think who we could give up in the death trade in the threes.
I mean, Putin.
Yeah, but that seems beneficial. Too beneficial.
Yeah.
It can't be. It's got to be like someone from a TV show in the 80s. What if Buddy from Charles in Charge died?
That'd be a bummer. I watched him on Celebrity Rehab.
Right?
I'm like, I want to see that guy get better.
But
what if Charles from Charles in Charge?
Scott Baio?
That wouldn't be that bad.
What if like Budnick from Salute Your Shorts, man?
Don't say.
I don't know why that just came to my mind, but like,
Or,
he also played Sam on Different Strokes.
Oh, he did the one that got Sam, I will kill your family. Was that the one where Sam got kidnapped?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I'm okay with Budnick.
Oh, I'd be really bummed out.
I'll take Budnick and Donkey Lip.
Oh yeah, Donkey. What about Ugg?
Okay, do we want the whole cast of
What
Salute
if
Your
the
Shorts?
entire cast of Salute Your Shorts dies in a freak accident at a reunion?
Oh, they're at a Nickelodeon reunion?
Right, and all of them just go.
I'm trying to think.
Budnick too?
Budnick too?
All of them. Budnick, everyone.
Yeah, Budnick was the initial.
Yeah.
I figured Budnick might survive.
No.
But at least
You mean
make
because
sure
he's
he's buried with his Steve Vai guitar pick.
What about
This might be devolving into the most morbid morning show in the history of radio. We're just sitting here going, people would be okay with dying.
Is Bob Barker's dead?
No, he's not.
He's alive.
I'll give up Bob Barker.
I'd be totally fine if Bob Barker died.
You know what? If death is listening, Bob Barker.
He's been around long enough.
He's had a sweet life.
Hell of a run.
He's even been retired long enough. It wouldn't even be one of those things where, like, oh, the minute he retired,
It
like,
might even be Sweet Peace.
it probably would at this point.
Yeah, where one of the Barker family statements would be like, he went peacefully in his sleep.
It was about time.
He guessed the time of death. He guessed his own time of death.
Right. Well, he was not over it.
Yeah. Yes. How old is he?
93.
I mean, come
It's
on.
time. It's time.
You took Cornell. You took Ailes. Take Barker.
You're right. Take Barker.
Hashtag kill Bob Barker.
Make the last one not hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to go. I want to be put down softly. I don't want another hard one.
Right. Who's the Golden Girl that died not too long ago?
The Arthur?
Yeah.
I feel like that was a while ago.
That was a while ago.
Is she the only one? Is Betty White still alive?
Betty White's the
Don't
only
you
one left.
fucking put that in your mouth, you motherfucker.
I'd be fine with it.
You son of a bitch.
She's
the remaining Golden Girl.
Was Rue McClanahan not here?
No.
Rue McClanahan died.
Did she?
Blanche, right? Yeah, she's dead.
I didn't know that.
You know what?
She was the one that recently died.
And Sophia Loren, right? Or no,
Sophia Loren, what a Golden Girls that would have been.
She would have been an amazing Golden Girl. Sophia Loren played Sophia. That's right. She was still a piece
I'm
of
getting
ass.
real life and Golden Life confused.
You know what?
I don't
Honestly,
know.
I'd be fine if Sophia from the Golden Girls or Sophia Loren was dead. I wouldn't care about that.
That'd be what a different show if they made Sophia fuckable, like an old fuckable lady.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm having a real tough time watching Golden Girls because the mom is hot.
Yeah.
She was Italian too.
Blanche would be walking around like talking about how like she likes to fuck everybody.
I found a fireman. And Sophia Loren's like,
But all the firemen would be like, I want to fuck your mom right now. Blanche, like,
can I trade up for the old Italian bird?
Sophia's fucking hot.
Yeah. Oh man, Betty White. If Betty White went out,
she's 95. Like,
okay,
you talk about a hell of a run. Like, come on.
How about this for the third person that dies? Anyone over 85? Everyone over 90?
90 is my cut. Anybody over 90 is
I'd be
fine.
all right with Angela Lansbury.
Oh, come on.
You know what?
Way more
I
than
would too
Betty
because
White.
I bet it would put Murder, She Wrote on Netflix.
And that's all you're waiting for.
Yeah, hobnobs and broomsticks and fucking.
Did you just say hobnobs?
I don't know. I didn't watch bedknobs.
Hobnobs and broomsticks. It was a bunch of people with broomsticks just like hanging out with each other and socializing.
Hobnob. I have no idea why I said that.
I'm hobnobbing with my broomstick.
Oh.
Hello, broomstick.
Just having a chat with my broomstick.
Yeah, but and plus there's no more juice to get out of that Tale as Old as Time song because they already remade Beauty and the Beast.
True.
So that was, I mean, other than Murder, She Wrote, that's Angela Lansbury's greatest contribution.
Do you think they'll ever redo Murder, She Wrote?
I don't think there's really any.
No.
I will say that the Murder, She Wrote had a very important time in my life because it used to be the lead-in for Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
So I would catch like the
On
outcome
USA.
of the cases
yeah.
on USA. I never really watched the full episode, but I would always watch the last few minutes.
I remember always watching it going like this. So she writes the murder? She makes the murder?
Right.
Yes. It would be like I would watch the credits for that, and then Raw, and then the opening credits for Silk Stockings.
Dude,
Right.
USA's partial porn that they used to play.
Oh, yeah.
Pacific Blue.
Yep. La Femme
Oh,
Nikita.
yeah.
Anyone?
Yeah. God, when Raw came out, you really just saw how sexualized USA was.
But Raw would be like, that was like the mid-90s, so it'd be like Doink the Clown and da-da-da, and like da-da-da.
Crush.
And yeah, Crush was there, and then it's like, and then there's tits after if you want to keep watching.
They go, hey, do you like a detective that loves to fuck? Silk stocking.
Yeah.
Hey, little boy that just watched someone get body slammed. Do you want to watch a real body slam?
Oh, Sean in Denver has a suggestion for the Who Should Be Dead next pool, I guess. What's going on, Sean?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
I I had a question for you. Step by step, would you guys miss any of the cast members from that show if any of them perished?
Yes.
Yes, I'd miss AJ.
Al.
Okay, Al. That's the one.
What about
God, she was the best.
Yeah.
She was hot and a tomboy.
We have no love for Patrick Duffy.
I mean, Patrick Duffy, great chest hair.
Yeah.
And was convincing that he would properly fucking Suzanne Summers.
Also the Code Man.
Yeah.
I'd be bummed if Cody.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something? He'd be my pick from the show to pass away.
Why?
Not only that-
Didn't you ever see his great ninja movie?
That's exactly where I was going. If he did die, Kickboxer 2 would probably get put on Netflix.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it.
I'd be okay with Cody passing away.
Sasha something, right?
Yeah.
Mitchell.
Sasha Mitchell.
Yeah.
I'm okay with Al. Al would be the only one.
Al, yeah.
You're right. Because that was my biggest crush.
We talked about her last time I was on here, Sam.
Yes.
Christine Lakin, because
She's on a show where it's her and Stephanie from Full House and the girl from Seventh Heaven. And it's basic, like, what they're trying to package it is... They're trying to package it as, oh, the reunion of the sitcom girls all coming together. But it's really just, look who's hot from old sitcoms.
Yeah. Guys, they're hot and they need a check. Yeah. Let's get this. And there's some fucking broke writers that fucking cooked up 12 scripts that are pretty okay.
Yeah.
It's like...
I think one of them's just trying to bang Jodie Sweetin, but still.
That show reminds me of those fun packs with chips where you got like Fritos, Doritos,
Sure.
and Cheetos, but the bags were too tiny. So you're like, I don't give a fuck about this. Right. That's how that show feels. We're like, all right.
Yeah, whatever.
I guess fucking 7 Doritos is enough.
This isn't going to be satisfying at all.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Al, Patrick Duffy dying.
That would bum me out if Patrick Duffy died.
I'll tell you this. A majority of the Family Matters cast dying would upset me more.
What about what about the lost daughter if she died?
Okay, now
the daughter that was always in the opening credits, but after season 2 was gone.
It's a rare condition to see her in the show.
Oh yeah.
It was Laura's younger sister.
Yes, and she was kind of sassy in season 1, 2, and then she did like porn, right?
She did porn.
Yes, that's why. Yeah.
You saw the same VH1 show,
right? She was like, I was on Family Matters, and it's like, but you weren't.
Yeah,
really.
were you there or were you kind of there?
Let me ask you: did you meet Stefan? Because if you didn't meet Stefan, I don't think you were on the show long enough.
Did you meet Robot Urkel? Because you didn't make the time.
I'd be upset if Eddie Winslow died because I thought he was really, really cool when I was young.
Oh, Carl Winslow would be heartbreaking.
Carl would be heartbreaking.
Eddie Winslow was in one of the Saw movies.
Yes, he was.
Yes, and I remember sitting in the theater and I was like, oh my God, not Eddie.
Carl, get him out of this.
Carl needs to outlive Harriet because he needs at least a couple years of peace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was not a peaceful existence for Carl. I know there was love there,
It
but
is a rare condition.
Yeah.
Fuck. Who's going to be third in the death pool?
Well, Mark in Georgia has an option. What's up? Oh, look at that. Oleocon on Twitter just tweeted at Jim and Sam Show a photo of the brand new, and this is available at all of Dan Soder's gigs.
Not true.
The brand new Soder Pop. So if you go see Dan Soder's comedy, he's going to be on May 27th at Laugh It Up in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
Ask your bartender for a Soder Pop.
Is that a 2 Soder Pop minimum?
It's a 2 Soder Pop minimum.
I fucking hate all of you, and I hope one of the bartenders that's some raw Poughkeepsie guy working the bar punches one of your fans who try to go like, can I get a Soder Pop? And he goes, we're busy. What?
Soder Pop, please. He's actually Dan is he's having the clubs put that on his on all his posters. 2 Soder Pop minimum. 2 Soder Pop minimum for Danny Fizzlesticks.
I feel like if I had a Coke problem and this was the '80s, I feel like I'd be running with this.
Yeah, no, Coke is not the soda you have a problem with. Soder.
Jokes like that are the reason Chris Cornell's dead. Because you put that out in the air.
Mark in Georgia.
Morning, boys.
What's up, buddy?
So I've got 3 options for you.
That's so morbid. You really are like a Southern Death. All right, here's what I got cooking.
Yeah, I've got a trifecta of people to complete the trifecta.
Yeah. All right, who are our top
in the
3?
spirit of going with 3s, right? We got to go with 3. So the first one is going to be Tony Danza, just because
I refuse
you're going with
it.
that whole.
I refuse
That's
it.
You got to go with the Facebook post, right? He's that guy that like everybody. Oh, who was it? I kind of remember. They show his picture. Oh, he shaped my life. He is my childhood. I don't fucking remember who he is.
That's a great
The second one's going to be Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell because he was our childhood father.
David Haskins.
Dennis Haskins. Yeah, I just saw him not too long ago. He's a hell of a human being.
I heard that. I've heard he's a very sweet human being.
He's a
very
very
nice man.
nice
I would not
man.
wish that on anybody.
He's a big wrestling fan, and I think that he likes me, but I'm not sure because I interviewed
he hates
him.
you.
He does,
Yeah,
right?
we actually discussed it.
I interviewed him once, and I kept mentioning the fact that he likes to have young women around him.
Uh-oh.
And he seemed like really uncomfortable with that line of questioning.
Can I just say something, though? When he said it, it struck an honest chord in me where it feels right on the spectrum. And that's fucked up. But it just, the same way he said it, I was like, shit, that does feel like it would be the right one where you go, Cornell and Mr. Belding? And then everyone would be like, hashtag 90s are over.
What about Roger Ailes, guys? Shut up.
Shut up, you dork. Go read the paper. Who's your third option?
My third one, and only because they just tried to remake, into a movie, Baywatch. You got to get rid of Hasselhoff because he was kind of our introduction to tits, right?
Yeah.
The Hoff would go out thank you, Mark. The Hoff would go out super strong. It'd be on drugs, alcohol, the whole binge.
Yeah, there would be a binge, and then people would watch the cheeseburger video again.
Oh yeah.
But then
the cheeseburger video.
Cheeseburger video would go on Netflix.
But people would have to act like it was sad now.
People would just start recreating it on their Instagram videos.
That's morbid. If people were doing that, if you died of a drug overdose, they're like, look at this loser eating a cheeseburger shirt.
Yeah, he'd go, this really is a mess. That was his quote.
Yeah,
this is a mess.
Did you find that video? The cheeseburger? I totally forgot. He said,
See, let's watch the Hasselhoff drunk cheeseburger video.
If you died and people just kept playing that'd be so embarrassing.
Yeah, and they would. It comes up real quick.
Dude, but I'll tell you this. It is hard to look good shirtless in jeans, and he does it somehow.
Especially at his age.
Yeah. I'm just going to have this cheese.
Oh, somebody made it into a Carl's Jr. commercial. Maybe that's...
Goddamn, just when I think I hate the internet, I realize that I love it.
So now, you need to promise me you're not going to get alcohol tonight, okay?
What?
You need to promise me you're not going to get alcohol tonight. Okay? Because if you get alcohol tonight, you're fired from your show tomorrow. And the doctor is coming over here in the morning to check your alcohol level. And if you have any alcohol in your system, you're going to be fired from the show. Tomorrow. You hear me? No alcohol.
It's just... Dude. No alcohol. You might be a little late.
I would, if you panned back and it's just like me hanging out with him, I go, your daughter stinks. Hey, Dave, you want these fries? I'm going to eat these fries if you're not going to touch them.
I asked him about that once because I interviewed him, and his thing was like, hey, man, I was in my house. You can drink in your house.
Yeah, it's true, though.
I was like, hey, yeah.
I mean, really, I don't find any fault with David Hasselhoff.
No, other than it being hilarious.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with it.
And if you could be that age, look like that with no shirt and jeans, and eat Wendy's cheeseburgers.
And somehow, dude, if I ate a cheeseburger shirtless and jeans, it would look terrible. And what are they saying? Is that his daughter?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's his daughter now.
Oh, all right, Haley.
Yeah. Okay, we see you.
Okay.
She just got busted for DUI.
That's right. She got busted for DUI. They
Taft
found her.
really just brings up all the negative shit.
It's very relevant.
He goes,
Look
I
at
heard
what she was
also
doing in that video.
I also heard that she's like late on her cell phone bill.
They did. they did. They did find her passed out behind the wheel. That's a bad DUI.
Please tell me there's a cheeseburger.
Yeah, exactly. There's takeout on the seat.
Yeah, they go. This cheeseburger's really doing in the Hasselhoff family.
I wanted to bring home my cheeseburger.
Oh, fuck, man. Who's third in the death pool?
Tom in Nashville has a suggestion. What's up, Tom?
What's going on, guys?
How you doing?
All right. Not too bad. All right. So this one's impactful, but at the same time, you can go, yeah, all right. William Shatner.
Yeah, it feels right. It feels the way Dennis Haskins felt right.
You get that belding feeling?
Yeah, I got the belding rattle.
Yeah, I can
time out.
86. He's had his run. He's made Priceline money. Conventions are done.
Plus, like, it would be like, you talk about being given the legend treatment.
He'd be over. He'd be over so hard.
Yeah.
If he died, if it was Captain Kirk, it would be a lot of Facebook posts.
The man. You talk about, he shaped my life. I grew up watching Star Trek.
I just keep looking back at the screen to see. Like, it feels like it's inevitable. It's going to happen within the next hour or so.
Death is chasing us.
Yeah, I'm just like, Pelosi! Oh, it's just a quote from Nancy Pelosi. That's not.
She's dead.
Johnny in Chicago.
All right, what about Bill Cosby? I mean, he's as old as many ladies he's raped.
You know what? That's a good one because it makes the most sense.
But it would do too much good. I think it falls in the same category, you know?
But here's the thing. You say it would do good, but I think a lot of people I think there's a lot of people that want to see him go to trial. I think there's a lot of people that want to see him get convicted.
So they'd feel like he got away with it.
Yeah.
If he died.
Yeah. I feel like you'd see people like on the, like, people would be like, well, he should have faced justice. But yeah, some people I'm sure would be pretty happy.
If he goes to trial, he'll go to trial and die in jail.
Yeah,
So it's 6 of one, half dozen.
Coming.
That's true. Yeah,
it's coming pretty soon. He's got that fucking homeless dog glass eye.
Yeah, I mean, he says he can't see anymore, and it really is. He says
Who said that? Who's in here? Who's in my cellar? Who's in the cell with me?
In the cellar. Are you thinking of that movie?
Yeah.
What's it called? Don't Breathe?
Is that who it is? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Bill Cosby's the villain and don't.
I'm gonna make you drink this thing real quick with my bad glass eye. Yeah, his eye is creepy as fuck.
His vision really has gone away the way an old dog's vision goes away.
Dude, it's like you want to be like this. Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill. Over here. Hey. Hey, over here.
This probably. I had a dog who, at the end of his life, lost his seeing and hearing.
Fuck.
And so, like,
how did you not put him down?
Right.
We had to.
Well, yeah.
In the beginning,
But
it
how
was
did you not put him down?
Because he's still wagging his tail. He was still happy, but like
That's gonna be just a muscle spasm at that point.
Walk into walls.
Yeah, no, yeah.
He'd get confused easily. So we put him down. But that's probably what Bill Cosby's life is like right now.
Yeah, that he's just like, I remember my dog when he got old and I hit my 20s, he just wouldn't, he used to like to lay in front of the front door, but then he just wouldn't move when the door would open, so he'd take rib shots every time. He'd be like, like my friends would open the door and he'd be like, oh, Jesus, and he'd just be like, hey, how you doing?
Let me go to.
I just adopted a dog that right now is very similar to Bill Cosby. He will not leave my wife alone.
Really?
Constantly. He just follows her everywhere.
He tells her he's going to get her a sitcom deal.
I woke up this morning and he was in bed between us. It was,
Right. Yeah.
And the old glass eye.
Let's go to Kent. Yeah, we call him Kaz. Let's go to Kent in North Carolina.
Hey, Sam, you're awesome. Dan, you're probably my favorite comedian out right now.
You are the sweetest man alive.
What about me? What about Corey Graves?
I said, Sam, of course, you're the shit, you know.
What about Corey Graves?
You should probably wake up before you call the show.
Hey, just a thought. I just got on the road on the way to work, man. Corey Graves, you're the shit, dude.
There it is.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Drive safe to work.
Well, speaking of driving, I think mine's going to have to be Caitlyn Jenner, a little instant karma.
Oh, you
instant
know what?
karma for what?
For the vehicular manslaughter, not for being trained.
I was gonna say,
that was way out of line. It's just for being trained.
In a North Carolina accent, that can go two ways.
Right.
And by the way, technically, Bruce did that, so that's not. We can't hold Caitlyn responsible for what Bruce did.
That's hilarious if you go, oh, because of the manslaughter car accident? No, for being an abomination of God. You're like, oh, right.
What's going on in them panties?
Fuck. Yeah, you're right, though. Killing a person with your car. And so you think that Caitlyn Jenner dies in a car accident?
We lost him, but...
damn it.
But yeah, it would be... I think that Caitlyn Jenner...
They would champion her. They would make it like...
I don't know. I think there needs to be a little more time if that were to happen, because... in the way the cycle has gone, she was a hero and this pioneer and all this stuff. It's gotten to the point now where a lot of people are tired of her.
Right.
Like, so at this moment today, people are like, okay, enough. We've heard about it. Give it another 5 years when she's out of the spotlight a little bit, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh God, we forgot how important she was.
Here's why it would be good for her right now, because you're right. She's going to go downhill right now in the court of public opinion. So she could avoid all that and just go straight to being a legend by somebody committing vehicular manslaughter on her, or deal with the fact that people hate her for a while, I think.
I think that would be murder if someone intentionally committed vehicular manslaughter. I think that's murder by vehicle.
No, I'm not advocating that somebody do that. I'm saying that that's just what would happen. Just because karma. You can't charge karma with murder. You could charge somebody with vehicular manslaughter because of karma.
That sounds like a shitty thing a villain would say. It'd be like, you can't charge karma with murder, Mr. Bond.
Just ask my bodyguard. Karma.
I'm the most powerful city council member. Fuck, who's going to be the third? What if? All right, I don't want to put this. I mean, this kind of hurt, but going off, Mr. Belding. What if it's MPG, Mark Paul Gosselaar?
Ooh, couldn't be.
That one hurts, right?
It hurts, but
it's two 90s because Cornell's very 90s.
That's
Roger
true.
Ailes
It
is
fits
very
in.
news.
It's two in the pocket.
You're gonna have to go 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna go like current.
Oh,
Taylor
wow.
Swift.
That would shut everything down.
The world would shut down.
Where they'd be like, guys, don't go to work. Taylor Swift is dead.
Carlos in Montreal.
Hey, what's going on, man? I'd like to throw my dick in the pot, and bear with me. I just say it just because I think it'll clean up his name. You know, it'll bring him back to what it used to be. The immortal Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Stop it,
dude! Look, I'll tell you this: you just made the studio angry.
Yeah,
you just made.
But listen, everyone's gonna forget about him dropping N-bombs. Everyone's gonna forget about the Bubba Love Sponge sex tape.
True.
Everyone's gonna say their prayers, take the vitamins.
But it's not like he's like that slandered to where he's irreparable at this point. The way you preface that, I thought you were gonna talk about like Jerry Sandusky.
Yeah,
like it'll clear his name. People will forget about it.
Because I hate to tell you, but like as a Hulkamaniac, I've already forgotten about all the bad stuff.
No, I still. You know, it's so funny when that. Yeah, you're right.
To me, the worst thing that he ever did was that match with Sid at WrestleMania 8. That's the.
To me, the thing that he can never be forgiven about is Hogan's knows best. To me, in my mind.
See, I had forgotten about that.
We'll forget about that. We'll remember when he joined the Outsiders. It'll be fucking glorious. It'll be a glorious day.
It's not going to happen, and it doesn't work because
he's immortal. You can't kill him.
He's immortal. You described him as immortal. You can't kill.
God, that would fucking suck.
Yeah,
he's still
Carlos, bite your tongue.
Yeah.
That's just that we can't have that.
Plus, he's got another run in him.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, easily is. Even as
he's got another WrestleMania to headline.
Oh God.
Kevin in North Carolina.
Good morning, Mr. Brand Muffins. We
we need somebody expendable to complete the three here. How about Pete Rose? Is he really worth anything?
I'd be
First off, let me tell you why that fits into the death triangle. Number one, it's a 70s superstar that was still big in 80s and 90s. His kind of was cleared with baseball. I don't know if he was like completely cleared, but then he also had his ups and downs. If Pete Rose, you know what? I think this is the best one so far.
Soder lit up like Times Square when that name was said.
Yeah,
so,
I think it's Pete Rose.
I think Pete Rose is the one.
I think that feels the right. Yeah, that feels the most right.
I think that's a good one.
Because Hulk Hogan really put everyone back on their heels.
That's a bad one. That's very bad. So we'll leave on a positive note that Pete Rose will be the third in the death pool.
What if Pete Rose is just in his car and he's like, "What the fuck?"
These fucking guys.
And he's the kind of old man who's like, if I was in New York, I'd fight all three of them.
He would too.
Yeah, that's why he was one of the greatest baseball players of all time.
He's probably in Vegas right now, driving to New York.
Put him in the Hall of Fame.
Guys.
Put him in the Hall of Fame.
That's it.
These goddamn assholes are talking about me dying. I'm going to drive all the way out to that Jew city and beat them all up.
I will fist fight Pete Rose. Just to say I did.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't, right?
You know what? That's like, speaking of Hulk Hogan, but that was a thing where it's like when older wrestlers try to act like, what you gonna do? And it's like, fight you. I'm 33.
Yeah.
I'm a grown man with boxing skills.
My bones are as strong as they'll ever be right now.
Yeah, I'm in my prime.
Crumble you. Yeah, that's the act where it's, because I compared it to when like hot women get too old and then they're like mad that men don't treat them the same.
Yeah.
When they're in their 50s and they're like, why are these guys just mean all of a sudden? It's like, because you're not a dippy 22-year-old anymore.
Right, you decided to spend your 20s and 30s relying on your hotness.
Yes.
The fact that you have not built a skill set in that time is not our fault.
Exactly. And so that's the way I feel like when you see a hot older woman. It's like this kind of the same when you see like an older wrestler that's still like, I'll take you to the mat. And you're like, no, you won't. No, you won't.
You won't.
You're probably, listen, your old man strength is probably incredible and you'll hurt me.
Right.
But I think I got a dog in this
If you were doing battle with another octogenarian, you might win.
Right.
Exactly.
As of right now.
Yeah, your joints are brittle, and I'm pretty sure a sidekick to the knee would be enough.
Right.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. I just got to move side to side enough to fucking get you tipsy and then just put you over.
Tire you out like an alligator.
Just slap his nose and keep moving.
We're going to take a break because we haven't yet, but you can see Dan Soder May 27th at Laugh It Up in Poughkeepsie, and of course you can hear Danny Fizzlesticks with Big J on the Bonfire Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Comedy Central Radio, Channel 95, and Not Special is available now on iTunes, which is I mean, I know it's called Not Special, but it's a special.
Oh, new one's coming out in July on Netflix.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
all right, so
a little half hour.
Be on the lookout for that. And Graves, what's going on with you?
Oh, typical WWE Universe,
Yeah.
WWE Network. Head to WWENetwork.com right now. Start your 30-day free trial. This week is huge. We got the UK Championship Special Friday. Saturday is NXT TakeOver Chicago. Sunday is Backlash. And then, of course, Monday, Tuesday.
Nakamura making his pay-per-view debut.
It's going to be big.
Yeah.
I am so excited for that.
I don't think my wife realizes how much wrestling is going to be on TV this weekend.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's also a new Finn Balor special, 24, one of those documentaries,
really?
which our company does really, really well.
I haven't watched it yet. Is it really good?
I've only seen a little bit of it, yeah.
Seth Rollins one was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was really great.
There's a new one to check out. So, yeah, WWENetwork.com. Check it out.
By the way, everybody that's ever told me, because I used to hear this a lot from especially from comics. I used to have conversations with Bob Kelly about it. People used to love going on Netflix and finding old WWE documentaries.
Yeah.
Alone worth getting the WWE Network.
1,000%.
They're all there.
1,000%. And the great thing is the ones even they release on DVD just end up on the network.
Yeah,
like
eventually
3
there's a
months later. The
time there,
Scott
yeah.
Hall one was unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break. I want to, there's a couple of things. You know what we should play today? I want you to see the clumsy shoplifter video. You think Soder and Graves would like that?
Absolutely.
I also want to talk about my man, LeVar Ball.
I didn't see this.
Did you hear about the controversy around it?
No.
What, do you just live in a box? You don't know Chris Cornell's dead? I'm going to educate Dan Soder to what's going on.
Cool. I'm sorry I'm out there living a fucking life, bro.
What life are you living?
I don't know. I want to play more PlayStation.
Yeah. I mean, you're on Billions, and all of a sudden you're like, bro, I got a lot of stuff going on.
I did the show, and then I did sets last night, and then I got very stoned and ate Captain Crunch and fell asleep, and then I woke up late for the show.
That's a beautiful existence.
It really is. You figured.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not drinking carrot juice in the morning, reading the obituaries. You fucking dork.
It's called show prep, man.
I don't believe it. Obviously, you've never listened to The Bonfire.
We'll be back right after this. What's this, the new Kendrick? Welcome back. It's Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. Jim Norton is in Los Angeles filming some television that I'm sure we'll all find out about soon. In the meantime, joining yours truly is Dan Soder.
Hello.
Also known as Dan Fizzle Pops.
You're going to get a throat chop, dude.
And Corey Graves, the voice of WWE Monday Night Raw.
Hey.
Hey. I meant to tell you guys You know, everybody's freaking out. I went down to the bathroom, and I don't know. First of all, it's weird to celebrate a band on today of all days, Chris Cornell Day. Yeah. But today, Sirius is celebrating the Beatles channel this year. Yeah. It's channel 18 or something. And there's like a fishbowl event to celebrate. Like I walk down, and I just see in the fishbowl, you know, the big glass studio that's in the lobby where we've done live events and stuff before. I walk down there, and I see like they got some food in there, and they got some banners up on the walls with like British flags on them. And then just some like executives kind of wandering around in there.
They go, hey, remember how we bought those rights?
Yeah, and I'm like,
remember when we took that art and turned it into complete commerce? We're good. How about a finger sandwich? You know who would love to be here right now? John Lennon, if he was still alive.
But he's not, and we are.
But we're not.
Cheers.
To greed.
But I was looking and I was like, is there an actual event happening in there today, or is that it?
I think that's it.
That can't be. I mean, there's nobody in there. Are they just?
That'd be great if it's like Ringo's second cousin. Get anybody else? They're like, who do we got?
Did they just put like some food in the fishbowl and
some like hors d'oeuvres and some British flags?
I mean, the fishbowl's a studio. We could have used that for something. No, can we have done the British flags and food in like? I mean, we could have put it in my office or something, right?
This is a big deal, though.
I mean, I guess, but you could still. It's not broadcasting anything.
I think it's just like, hey, good job for the people that have worked on this. That's what I assume. I don't know.
Well,
but I mean, the people here that work here, the producers, put a lot of hard work into the Beatles channel.
Well, I put a lot of hard work into this show every day. I'd like a parade in the fishbowl as well.
Isn't that kind of stuff usually just done in the conference room?
Of course.
Like, here's some food?
Yeah, because the fishbowl studio is used for broadcasting.
The Beatles are more important than the conference room, though.
That's how good the Beatles are.
Yeah, but they're not like throwing a party.
They're more of
executives.
They're more of a fishbowl band. Yeah. They're not here. The Beatles aren't coming.
No, it's just congratulating the people that have worked on it.
Oh. Well, again, I'd like to know when the Not Sam banners are going to be plastered across the fishbowl. I mean, I do this every day. I didn't like sit there for like a couple months.
Are you trying to compare yourself to the Beatles?
That's basically what I took from that.
I try to compare myself to the people who are taking the Beatles music and putting it on the radio.
Well, you know.
That's good too, right?
Yeah. Hey, those people work. It's good to have a job.
And I don't need it, though. I got my credibility from another band yesterday. Do we have Travis's tweet that he tweeted yesterday? He tweeted something very cryptic because he was on the elevator with me. And you guys are going to be... I think you guys are going to look at me in a different way completely after you hear what happened yesterday. Travis, do you think I'm exaggerating this
definitely.
or no?
No, you're not exaggerating.
Right.
No, this is a big deal.
So this says, this is from yesterday. Travis tweeted, don't mean to tease, because he doesn't usually. Don't mean to tease, but at Not Sam had an amazing elevator interaction with one of the biggest bands ever today. Hopefully, he'll discuss tomorrow. So even though, that's how big of a deal this was. Even though Travis got to live through this, he just wanted the conversation to happen again today.
Yeah, I had to just put that out there.
Just to revisit it mentally.
I'm pretty sure I know who it is.
Who do you think?
Metallica?
You think Metallica? Do you have any guesses?
Well, they played Nassau Coliseum last night.
Uh-huh.
And that makes sense.
And you're thinking, like, what band would you be this excited about?
Yeah.
Right.
I feel as though there's a healthy dose of sarcasm in that tweet.
Okay.
I don't,
Travis.
See, if there is, I don't read it because I'm not a sarcasm guy. So I don't pick up on it. I don't get it.
I've been saying that since I was very young. I'm just not a sarcasm guy.
I don't think it's funny. I think it's sarcasm is what I refer to as the lazy man's comedy.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. that's You're more of a pranks and props.
I like pranks. Yeah, that's
work,
me.
You like when work goes into the jokes.
I know that a lot of people respect stand-ups, but to me, the ultimate in comedy is YouTube pranks.
Right,
like that to me is the top. That's the Beatles of comedy. Is YouTube pranks.
Oh, the people that
Gallagher.
Yeah.
Trying to get punched on the street.
That's it. That's it. It never gets old. So do you have any guesses about the band?
No.
You're like, who could this be?
Yeah, because I'm not going to be right.
Oh, that's good. There's a lot of bands. Could have been Soundgarden. It was yesterday.
Okay.
A lot of people were guessing the Beatles because of the Beatles channel on.
Right. Could have been Ringo.
I'm here to meet Sam Roberts. They're like, what? Why do you want to meet him?
Yeah. Well, because he was shitting on our party.
I want to meet the executive that's doing all this great work.
So I get in the elevator.
Yeah.
And Travis is in there with me.
Yeah, we know that.
And all of a sudden, I hear this voice say, damn, your hair is awesome today. Something to that effect. And I didn't even look up because I figured this strange voice must be talking to somebody he knows. And the elevator door's shut. And I hear again, dude, your hair is on point. And I look up and I turn my head.
And it's Nick Lachey from 98 Degrees.
Oh, I wish. Who do I make eye contact with? The guy from Papa Roach.
Kobe Dick?
Yes.
Isn't that his name?
I don't know.
I think it is.
Papa Roach. But why did you say, oh, Troy, that's the band. Papa Roach is the band.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm putting all the heat on Travis because even in sarcasm, one of the biggest bands ever.
I'm silently protesting all of this.
Papa Roach.
Stop saying it like that.
You ever hear Last Resort?
Say it again.
Papa Roach?
No, the way you said it.
Yeah, no, I don't like the inflection.
Papa Roach.
You sounded like Papa Roach.
Papa Roach. Papa Roach was in the elevator saying how great my hair was yesterday. He said,
Papa Roach is not a man.
What?
Yeah, he's not one person. It's not like...
I figured it was like
No, that's the guy. Yeah, he's like
Papa
Nine
Roach.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Papa Roach. He goes, please, not when I'm on stage.
Wait, it's like Marilyn Manson. It's like, I'm
Well, yeah, but Marilyn Manson is one man.
Right.
His band is also called Marilyn Manson, but there are distinct other members.
So this guy is not...
No, he's called
Papa Roach.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you, I think it's Jacoby Shaddix. I'm telling you, at some point they called him Kobe Dick.
You're right. At the first album, I think they did.
Okay.
Did they really?
Yeah.
They
Kobe
changed it.
Dick.
Kobe Dick into Jacoby Shaddix, and then...
Now Papa Roach.
So if you met...
Now he's Papa Roach.
Yeah, if you met Darius Rucker, you'd be like, I met Hootie.
Right, exactly.
You're that guy.
I met Papa.
Oh, you're such a dick. Are you Papa or Roach?
Yes, Papa Roach. And then he talked about it the entire elevator ride down.
Your hair?
Yes.
Up about it.
He goes like, I love how it's just that it's that close trim and then the fade up just pops.
You want to go, hey, dude, what's up? You want to talk about, you got something going on?
What are we doing?
Yeah,
what is this?
What are we doing
What are
here?
you doing here? And I told him, I was like, yeah, I
He
didn't
looks
even.
like Pink in that
I was
photo.
just going to say that! He looks exactly like old Pink.
I guess Papa Roach looked like Pink yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, but isn't that obnoxious just to talk about your hair for a 36-floor elevator?
Yeah, it's a
It
long
was
elevator
the
ride.
entire ride, and he was surrounded too by like guys that were all
He goes-
laughing at
he
his
goes,
jokes.
Hey, don't cut that into pieces. All right, I'll see you guys later.
I think he was just doing it to have you say something about his hair.
Oh, he's like, right,
his
your
hair?
My hair isn't as cool as yours.
Because it looks literally exactly the same from 20 years ago.
It looks like Pink.
Yeah, like that photo that you just saw?
Yeah.
That was him in the elevator yesterday.
That's him. That's what his hair looked like. And I was like, hey, yours looks good too.
Did you feel like he was trying to bully you by over complimenting your hair?
I couldn't tell. You think he was negging me?
Yeah, or he's like, hey, nice hair.
For a dick.
You want to go get a drink?
Right. Yeah, no, I don't know what was going on. Or maybe like
We can drink Zima and talk about our mutual love of Crazy Town.
Crazy Town, up there with Papa Roach.
Yeah, Butterfly's a great song.
I worked concert security my junior year of high school. I don't know why. I just worked like in the parking, and it was the Warped Tour, and Papa Roach just came out with Last Resort, and they were playing it on the side stage, and this girl was crowd surfing, and it stopped crowd surfing because someone dropped her, and she like fell on her head, and it's just weird when they're like, this is my life. Hey guys, check on her. Guys, I need you to, they were like so into it, like, suffocation, no, oh my God, guys, seriously, we need a medic, and it shut down the whole vibe. It was pretty weird. And then they restarted it, where they're like, you want it again? And it's like, well, it's really the only reason everyone's here.
Yeah, we should at least get the single ones through before we go.
Because if they would have stopped, I think that girl would have been, even if she had a horrific neck injury, they would have hated her.
They would have trampled her.
They would have been like, oh God, I guess we missed Last Resort.
We're starting on Last Resort. Yeah, we got to hear the one. Hey, you guys might not know this one, but it's coming out next spring. Get it? It's like this is not going to be a follow-up.
This one's about my wife. It's a slower song.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys, who wants a deep cut?
And it was like still hot out. It was light. It was like 5 p.m. You know. No one, it was like in the middle of the summer. Mm-hmm. It was one of those where everyone was waiting for Last Resort, and then as it started, that girl fell. He was like, hey, stop, check on her. And everyone was like, even we were concert security. We're like, God damn it.
It's lame.
I went to Warped Tour like I think two summers ago down in Florida, and it started raining.
Yeah.
And the whole thing just shut down.
That's not
People
fun.
were like ducking for cover. I'm going, this is when I was young, I mean, it was like a punk rock festival. You just got after it.
Right.
You know? It was like the only time you get to see your bands.
Yeah.
Now people are like
Throwing mud
hiding
like at
under
Woodstock.
trees, and it was like the saddest state of affairs.
And it puts artists over more when they're like, let's play in the rain.
Yeah.
Remember the amount of panties that got wet when Gavin sung Glycerine in the rain at MTV Spring Break, and all the girls were like,
that's one of those songs,
take me.
and there's so many of them that girls I don't think pay any attention to the actual content of the song. They're just like, oh my God, this is my song. There used to be I heard one on the way in this morning. It was She Talks to Angels by Black Crowes, right? Every girl that hears that song immediately is just like, oh my God, I love this song. It's about me. And it's like, it's about heroin. Okay, do you realize it? No, they don't realize that. And
Right.
there was the other song.
It's about angels.
It was the song about the My Girl's in the Next Room. It was a big.
My Girl's in the Next Room. That one.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish it was you.
Yeah.
What's the name?
It goes like da da da.
Yes, I don't remember the name of the song, but every girl at that time was like, "Oh my God, I love this song." It's a song about cheating on your girlfriend.
Right.
Now that you're aware of
With
that,
your
do you
ex.
still love that song?
Like your ex. It's a guy who's sleeping.
Lips of an Angel.
Lips
There
of
it
an
was.
Angel.
Yes.
A guy who's sleeping with his ex while his current girlfriend is in the next room.
And women love that song?
Women are like,
They
oh
went
my God.
crazy for it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Because the hook says with the lips of an angel. And she's like, oh my God.
it's not about you.
She just call me an angel.
Selective hearing.
It's like she talks to angels.
Right.
Well, no, she's
when is it a
junkie.
nod? Yeah, when she's nodding out. That's when she's talking to angels. When she's
thinks she
blocking
sees
up.
them.
Yeah, she's blocking up sideway traffic because she's fucking asleep at 2 p.m. on a sidewalk.
But yeah, it was the and I think that there were a bunch of like Papa Roach entourage people. That it was almost. I felt the vibe in the elevator was everything that he said. There was somebody there next to him. Like he would like look around when he said stuff, and there was somebody next to him to be like, yeah.
Oh, that's the worst, man. That's when you fucked.
At what point do you not need an entourage anymore?
I think you get stuck with one, and then some people like hold on to the entourage, and then they all the way down. Like MC Hammer had a surprising amount of people with him, even when he was still broke.
Yeah,
right.
Like some people hold on to that entourage till they go all the way to the ground.
I don't know. I was on a flight recently with Slick Rick.
That's dope,
and it was pretty cool.
Eye patch on.
Yeah,
yeah,
oh, yeah. Very very well dressed, and it was just like but he was by himself. If you didn't know who he was just kind of an unassuming dude.
Because see, I would assume if he was out in public, he'd have sunglasses to hide the eye patch.
I think he might have had sunglasses.
Because that's like a kind of thing where if I saw an eye patch, I'd be like, "Who's this Slick Rick?" I'm like, "Oh my God, it's Slick Rick."
Yeah, well that's what I did. I'm like, "Oh, Slick Rick." Oh no, that's actually him.
Yeah, that's
the ruler. Everybody,
you go, look at this fucking Slick Rick looking motherfucker. That is the guy I thought it was.
When you're Papa Roach, I think also you have to kind of have an entourage because there's a lot of, so-called haters.
Well,
around you at all times. So like if you're,
they did
if the vibe is kind of like, well, everybody kind of knows Papa Roach sucks. You're going to want people around you saying, no.
They are awesome. They got a lot of hits. There's a lot of stuff that you know that you don't think you know that's Papa Roach.
Go to the festivals in Europe.
I remember they did an episode of Cribs, and I was like, this seems fiscally irresponsible.
I'm sure it wasn't their house.
Actually, you know what, though? If I remember correctly, by the end of the episode, I was like, this does make sense. Like, it's a modest 3-bedroom. I think there's 4 people living there.
Yeah. I think the only person to do MTV Cribs and actually use their real house was Redman.
Yeah, it was great.
Because his house was a piece of shit.
We asked him about that. He was on the bonfire, and we asked him about that, and he said they showed up to film, and he legitimately was like, yeah, I'm going to go back to bed. You guys can do like all the inside filming, but I'm going to go back to sleep.
Remember his DVD collection just on the floor? He's like, I got this movie.
He had porn, and it was great. He had the doorbell with the 2 wires.
Yeah.
It was that and Mariah Carey, because she had like these 17 levels apartment.
Right.
In Manhattan.
Right.
Like, that is a very expensive apartment.
Yeah. Let's go to Wayne in South Carolina. Wayne.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good.
Love the show. I just wanted to ask Dan Soder. Dan, the girl that plays Paul Giamatti's wife on Billions.
Yeah, man.
She is hot in person as she is on
I feel like Dan Soder has talked about this at least the last 4 times we've done radio. And by the way, you can talk about it every show.
Yeah.
That she is fucking gorgeous.
Maggie Siff?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And the nicest person.
Yeah.
Really?
One of those people that you meet and you go like, from my childhood, I'm like, you're fucking with me. Stop being nice to me. I'm like one of those foster kids that's like, I don't trust anybody when they're nice to me. And she is so sweet and legitimately just like,
what's your angle here?
What's
your angle?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But with no angle, just like really great at her job, really nice and gorgeous in person.
She is.
So is Marlon Ackerman too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big fan of her.
Yeah. Marlon Ackerman in person, you're like, God, you are stunning.
Did you do season 3? Are you doing season 3?
We don't start filming, I think, until later this year.
But it is happening.
Yeah, no, they're definitely writing it right now.
That's a good.
Talk to someone. Write me a role on Billions. I think I need to be on there.
I'm trying to write myself more of a role.
Yeah, let's do it.
Instead of being guy that gets yelled at.
That's a good show to be a part of, though, because the buzz is picking up for it strong, like now. You know what I mean? Like it was always had this thing.
Season 2, man. I think I remember when we were filming the last 3 episodes, I was like, these are fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone was like, the season ends really fucking great, and it was a strong season to begin with. And then it came out, and it was kind of cool to see people actually react the same way, where they were like, I remember the second to last episode, I read the script, and my roommate, Mike Vecchione, he's a fan of the show. And I was like, dude, can I tell you what happens? And he's like, no. No. He's like, I got to wait 7 months, but no, I don't want to fucking know. And then he watched the episode, and he's like, I'm so fucking glad I told you to shut up. I'm so glad I told you to shut up. Because it is a great episode, the second to last one.
I'm sure you signed something that says you're not supposed to tell your roommate what happens in the show.
I'm pretty sure there's not that deep of a...
I think
season 3 they might.
Is it like spousal privilege with a roommate that will hold up in court? You know, like,
Listen,
he's not going to testify.
You can't use my wife to testify against
me. You can't use the dude that I share the bathroom with against me in the court of law.
Alex in Alberta. What's going on, pal?
Hey, Sam, I was just saying, so you're talking about Cribs? So, you know the guy from, like, Sliders, Jerry O'Connell or whatever?
Yeah. He's the fucking man. He listens to the show.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's
on the show with Dan, too.
Yeah, he was on Billions.
Oh, seriously? Because he was on, his Cribs is ridiculous. It's like him and his brother. in this tiny little duplex.
I
with
remember
the shittiest little apartment. Yeah.
Holy fuck! When you said that, it's an apartment in L.A. and they're living together. Because I just remember being like, oh, that must be fun to live with your brother.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing good about the whole show. It's like, why is it even on? So just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
A very underwhelming Cribs.
Yeah.
Wow, he's a great fucking guy.
Did you see? You're a sports radio guy, right?
Not really. They kind of annoy me. I like sports. I don't like the sports radio part.
Who annoys you the most?
The guy that's called The Herd.
Colin Cowherd. He's the fucking worst.
This guy that I used to wait tables with made us, like when we were setting up the restaurant, he would put it on over the speakers. And so I just hear this guy being like, Eli Manning is not a good quarterback. It's like, I fucking can't stand that shit.
So you know who LeVar Ball is?
Yeah, he's the dad. He's the loudmouth dad who said that his sons are going to be better than LeBron James's kids.
Right. He said, well, now he's saying his son, Lonzo, is going to be better than LeBron James.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
He's saying that Lonzo Ball, who I think plays for UCLA right now.
I think he's coming out in the draft, though.
Yes. I think they're looking at him as like the number 3 pick or something like that.
Lakers.
Yeah.
Probably.
Remember when LeBron went number 1 at 17 or 18 to that $90 million shoe contract?
$90 million, big fucking deal. $90 million shoe contract is chump change. You don't know about Big Baller Brand?
Oh, I know. He said he's going to make $1 billion. Well,
$1 billion? No. If you want to get involved in Big Baller Brand shoes, first of all, you can buy a pair now. It's $500.
Yeah, I heard
Or
about
you can get, for $1,100, you can get a signed pair, which I think may be the direction that I go in.
Oh, if you do, I will burn them. I'll break into your house and burn them.
But he has now said that $3 billion is the price to be a part of Big Baller Brand.
I think it's one of those things where it's kind of like when boxers do it. Like, it's like, remember when like they just run their mouth to get heat, and it draws eyes.
It works. He's a fantastic hype man.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
Remember when Chael Sonnen fought Anderson Silva, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?" And then he actually was like a good fight, and you're like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah.
And then he did it again the second time, and you're like, "Oh, okay, never mind."
Yeah. Well,
But
here's what
Chael Sonnen could sell any fight.
Yeah. Well, he did, until he got beat. That's the problem with UFC.
No, but even he fought Bones Jones, and he sold that.
He just fought Tito Ortiz in Bellator a few months ago, and the same deal.
But each one is like. Diminished. But the fact that he's able to get any eyes on his fights is strictly because he's such a great talker.
I mean, it is, man. There's something to be said about guys that just run their mouths. It is annoying, and I find it to be obnoxious, but it does work.
He's got the entire sports world talking about his son, who has still never played a professional game. They have a brand that's established, whether it be a farce or otherwise. They're getting money.
Exactly.
That stupid the Cash Me Outside girl. She's like 15 years old. She's a millionaire.
Yeah,
from being a like just horrible human being.
But that doesn't necessarily mean like. I think we live too much in the now with all the technology where we're like, look at the money they're making, all this.
Yes.
Like, you don't see the damage coming down the road. Him hyping his son up like this, what's going to happen is there's going to be a kid that came up the tough way at a fucking D1AA, going to get in the NBA, he's going to want to fucking take his kid out. Like, I'm in the NBA because I earned this shit, not because my dad fucking ran his mouth.
Yeah, because LeVar Ball was a football player. Yeah. And he started teaching his kids basketball when Lonzo was 6. And when Lonzo's younger brother was 4.
So Earl Woods them.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's the exact comparison that people make to him.
But here's the difference with it. Like, Earl Woods wasn't out there like, you could suck my dick, Tiger's the best. It's like, Tiger gonna make all that money, and all your kids are little khaki-wearing fucking cunts.
Yeah. I love that, like, the LeVar Ball goes on shows, and then it becomes this headline that he goes, oh, did you hear LeVar Ball was running off with the mouth?
That's what he does.
That's what you booked.
Right. Yeah. That's the only reason you book him, so he says something controversial, and you get to talk about it for a week.
I think it's
It'd be like if it was headline news, like, oh my God, Metallica showed up to the Nassau Coliseum last night and they played their songs.
Yeah, you're like, that's
what they do.
I think it's really damaging, though, to put that much pressure on your kid's career, especially when athletics are very mental and people can lock up and get the yips, and people can fucking, like, LeBron had a lot of hype, but that hype was put on him, obviously by, things that we don't see. There was clearly PR in that. To get him on the cover of Sports Illustrated, someone wasn't walking through Akron, Ohio, like, we got to put this 16-year-old. He was at the camps and those kind of people. So he did get hyped up in a different way.
But but it was through performance. Though.
Exactly. But also it wasn't through shit talking.
But I look at it all though from the other side, where if nothing else, if Lonzo Ball doesn't play more than 2 or 3 games in the NBA, think of the money that their family now has generated before. Because God forbid the kid steps on the court for the first time, blows out his knee, can't play ever again. Rather than just being stuck and going, oh, well, what could have been? At least he's got something to run off. You know what I mean? But you might not like the way he's going about it, but from a business perspective only,
it makes sense.
I completely agree with it.
But you watch any of those 30 for 30s, and even Christian Laettner?
Yeah.
From Duke, like, he is still tortured over how hated he was. Like, that does.
Oh,
cost
yeah,
something.
absolutely.
And for the dad, he's going to be fine with it. But, like, if let's say he does blow out his knee, or he lasts 3 games in the NBA, or whatever it is. If Lonzo Ball is not the best basketball player of all time, he becomes a joke, and this story is that he was overhyped.
And that's where it gets shitty.
Right.
Because his dad is, LeVar Ball is playing with house money. He's just talking all the shit. He doesn't have to back it up.
Right.
So he's like, my son's better than everybody. LeBron, he's going after LeBron, who is on a different level right now.
Right.
Like, LeBron James is on a completely different level now.
The argument is that he's better than Michael Jordan. That's the only LeBron argument
and that's
that happens.
crazy to the point where you're like, it could be possible. Like, it's entertaining the argument.
There's a conversation to be had.
There's a conversation to be had where LeVar Ball's son has not played 1 game in the NBA, and you're like, my son's gonna. Your son suck, and you're like, all right, well, that's a safer bet.
Right.
That's a safer bet that my kids are better than your kids, and then it goes like, my kids are gonna be better than LeBron. You're like, man, you really are hyping your kid up.
Especially because like all the talk about Lonzo Ball, like people were talking about him, I guess, in UCLA, but like he wasn't. All this hype around him is based on what his dad is saying, not on the, oh my God, you got to watch these NCAA games.
It would be crazy if his dad was talking some shit and then he was killing it.
Right.
Like if you're like, have you seen this dude at UCLA?
Then it becomes endearing.
Yeah.
'Cause you're like, oh yeah, this dude, he's really proud of his kid.
Yes.
He'll throw some shade here and there, but
this feels like a quick cash grab.
Yeah,
Like I got 3.
And maybe the kid does turn out to be this amazing superstar. But
yeah, I'm apologizing 20 years from now. I go, listen, I didn't know Lorenzo Ball was going to be that good at basketball.
And I'm sitting there with a pair of big baller Lonzo Ball
We're not going to have to
shoes.
wait 20 years for that. You're going to have those next week.
Well, that's what I mean.
When I see you at the pay-per-view in June, you're going to show up wearing a suit and big baller brand shoes.
How cool would I be if I did that? I'd be the
you
fucking
might get
man.
beat up.
You think so?
I'm just telling you.
By
that.
you.
By me. Yeah, that's
But guess what? 20 years from now, when Dan's like, oh, I was wrong, he's great, I'm like, yeah. And I have a dead stocked original pair that's worth $50,000.
And then your kid hates you because you won't give it to him.
Yeah,
I won't.
I won't. I'm actually going to my son's baseball game tonight, and I'm starting the same thing. I'm going to start talking smack to all the other parents.
Yeah,
You know, that's
my kid's better than your kid.
Yeah.
By the way, what you guys don't know about Graves is in the backyard, he takes a duct tape and he tapes the bat to his kid's hand.
Right.
Swing.
Nice.
Keep swinging. It's
Right.
not coming off.
Yeah.
Keep swinging.
He's not allowed to come to sleep until he's hit at least 40 off my property line.
That was one of my favorite SNL sketches is when they did the biography of Tiger Woods.
But by Earl Woods?
And no, but they had like who played
Tracy Morgan played Earl Woods?
Tracy Morgan played Earl Woods and Tim Meadows played Tiger Woods. And they had that where he duct taped the thing and he was like, I remember my dad hugging me after the 18th and he's like, yeah, we pulled over and I cried. It was great. That's one of my favorite
I haven't
SNL.
thought about that skit in so long, but it was genius.
Yeah, he goes, I remember I hit the putt and I could just hear my dad yelling, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah, and Tiger's acting like it's just this fun thing that his dad was doing.
Tracy Morgan did a perfect Earl Woods, too.
Yeah, he did. Kyle in Alabama. What's going on, pal?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
When that LeVar Ball, what he was doing, that actually happened on the Herd show.
Oh, did
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to play audio in a second.
Yeah, well, you should play the video because he won't look at the girl. They have the hot girl that's the reporter there.
Yeah.
And she had been criticizing his son about how he thinks his son is scared and his dad is kind of talking for him and he doesn't, So she talked a bunch of shit about him, and so she, when he started explaining it, in the video you'll see like he won't look at her and he tells her
we'll
to stay
watch.
in her lane. Yeah, dude, it is.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm excited to see this video. Man, I paid attention to nothing in the past 48 hours. Everyone knows about Cornell. Everyone fucking this video.
So LeVar Ball does Colin Cowherd's show yesterday, and
yeah, that's not the Herd. I don't know if he talks like that. That's more.
No, that's Scott Farrell. But he does the show. There it goes. That's where the video starts. And he has a girl on with him who's like a reporter.
Those are ugly as hell.
Well, you say that now, but people didn't get the Air Jordan at first either. And now look at him.
I was really hoping you were going to kick a screen.
That would have been. So he has a girl on with him. Now, the girl, I don't remember her name, but she has, over the last month or something, talked some shit. Like she says, oh, I'm sure that Lonzo Ball is afraid of his dad, and this is bad, and the parenting is not good, and as kind of made the same observations that.
Implying that LeVar Ball is abusive? Is that
Yeah.
Okay. So
he's tiger momming him.
Yeah. So LeVar obviously knows this and puts her on the pay no mind list immediately as we start here.
Haas, have you sold any shoes yet?
Yeah, I sold a good amount to me. Like I said, there's different amounts.
Hang on, hit pause. What's so great, first, everybody's just booking LeVar Ball on their show. I want to have LeVar Ball on this show just so they can kind of make fun of him.
Yeah, they go, so, have you sold any?
Yeah,
that's such a fucked up question for someone that puts out a product.
Have you sold any of these?
Has anyone bought one?
It's like Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank. What's your sales to date? But also all of his responses are yeah, I've sold a good amount for me. And they're like, well, why is it $500? Because that's what I decided they're worth. Like, there's no actual business acumen to any of it.
It's like when you have a child explain their fantasy world, and you're like, why are you doing that? And you're like, well, because I decided that the bad guy's over there. And you're like, who's the bad guy? And you're like, the bad guy is there. And you're like, oh, dude, this makes no sense.
I live in a castle, but the king lives outside the castle, and he's mad because I got in the castle, and now the king can't get in anymore.
Before Bell talks like a 5-year-old. Sometimes I go to bed, and I worry because the house makes noises, and my mom says it's not the bad guys.
Because my shoes cost $500, but if you want to make my shoes, you can't before. My son, only $3 billion.
My son's going to be taller than a tree, and he is better than everybody else.
Yeah. Michael Jordan is good, but my son's better.
Oh, my God, LeVar Bell's mentally retarded. The whole time.
Oh, that's what it's been the whole time.
Oh, my God.
He's got the mind of a 6-year-old.
That's like the fucking Usual Suspects ending. Oh, this whole time he's had a simple brain. No petting rabbits.
I think my son's going to go to the NBA and make $1 gajillion.
My son's stronger than a choo-choo. Oh, fuck.
And 2 days ago, I saw my son and he lifted up a train and he held it up over his head. And the conductor said, hey, put the train down. And he put it down and it didn't crash or nothing.
My son's, a dog tried to bite my son and the teeth broke on the dog.
I saw it. Well, I didn't see it, but my friend saw it. And he told me he doesn't lie.
He doesn't lie.
He doesn't lie.
Fuck. Dude, by the way, this just made LeVar Bell so bearable.
Yeah.
It made him likable.
Everything is okay.
Yeah. Did you sell any shoes? I saw enough for me.
That's a lemonade stand answer.
Yeah, I saw enough for me. Why is the lemonade $17? Because it's worth $17. I have the best lemonade of all the lemonade.
I made it.
My mom said it's the best lemonade.
Magic lemonade.
It's magic lemonade.
Fuck.
Here he is on Coward.
Have you sold any shoes yet?
Yeah, I've sold a good amount to me. Like I said, there's different amounts.
How many?
He's not looking.
Stay in your lane.
Wait,
Anyway,
what's-
calling
I'm
her
just-
like
I'm
I was
just-
telling you,
I'm
man.
just curious.
I don't even worry about her over there.
Why
Every time
not?
she
I
scares
think
me to
that's kind
death.
of disrespectful.
She said she scares Lonzo. Lonzo's scared of me. She scares
I
me.
said
That's
I'm
why I don't
scared
look
of
that way.
Lonzo?
I don't look over there because she scares me. I'm thinking
no,
of Saul right now.
I'm just trying.
Leave me alone. I'll tell you, 400-500 pair.
So she's a reporter. Her job is to
She
probe.
can report to whoever she wants behind her.
What's-
I'm
I-
talking
what
to
is-
you, Colin.
Well, what is your
this makes me
problem
like
with
him.
me?
Hey, my
You do like
problem
this.
is
This is, I mean, that was the verbal equivalent of putting your hands on your ears and going, la, 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 la.
But how can you talk to me if I can't hear you? If I can't hear you.
He covers his eyes. I can't see you if you can't see me.
Who's talking? Because I can't see you. I don't know who's talking.
But I mean, you said she's been actively talking shit. I kind of always like when people do that because I'm like, hey man, that guy's being honest.
Right, and
he's not doing that fake smarmy like, hey, how are you? Oh well, heard you said some stuff. He's like, shut up.
And
shut
she's
up.
being like, I'm just being a reporter. Like, if Kevin Pollak walked in, we would probably have to acknowledge the fact that I've talked shit about Kevin Pollak for like the last 3 years running.
Have you really?
He started it. And oh boy, did I end
What
it.
a weird beef.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Sam Roberts and Kevin Pollak.
It's real, and it's still
That's like a nap beef where you're like, I woke up and I had a dream that Sam and Kevin Pollak were fighting. So, I don't know. I gotta stop eating seafood before I go to bed.
But that's what this is. He's like, I know you were talking shit, and you can try to pretend that you're a reporter all you want, but I'm not listening.
I'm not listening.
I'm not listening.
His pettiness is admirable.
I like it because it's real.
You are a hater.
Why
I would never wear a big baller shirt. But
No, I
good.
didn't
Don't
say
even
that.
talk to Big Baller. I heard you say. I'm not even worried about
I
it.
said that I wouldn't wear something that
It
like
says
a woman.
Big Baller. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
With
and
all due
but
respect, you're a great reporter, just not reporting on me.
I have a right to say what
You
shirt
have
I
a
would and wouldn't wear.
Uh-oh, welcome to Big Baller Zone.
Okay, wait. Now I lost. Now you lost me.
Yeah.
I'm back off.
You're a good reporter, but not on me.
Because at first I thought it was funny, but then he actually did engage her, but not without looking at her.
He's staring at Colin Cowherd the whole time that he's talking to her.
Which is like, I'm off board. I was on board real quick because I thought it was funny at first, and now I'm like, nah.
Yeah, it's kind of psychotic. Wait,
no, it's just like, it's like, dude, if you're gonna say something, look at her in the face and be like, "Fuck you." Say it right to their face.
Right, here's exactly why I'm not looking
You
at
just
you.
like turn around, like.
You know who sucks at life and his job? Troy. Man, that Troy is the worst.
Troy, I'm not even talking Troy. Troy said he'd never want to listen to the bonfire, and he's not invited to the bonfire. Right, Troy? Just looking at Sam. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You're going back and forth now.
I think that's something that's really missing in our culture right now is face-to-face conflict with getting, because it actually helps get over shit.
Yeah.
He's tweeting in person.
Yeah,
That's exactly what it is.
There's no contact.
There's that buffer of, well, I can say what I want, but I don't have to actually answer for the consequences of what I'm saying.
Yeah,
because it's social media style.
Same to their, like looking someone in the eye and being like, "Fuck you." It's a hard thing to do.
Someone find out
but
where
it does actually makes you feel better.
Someone find out where LeVar Ball is going to be today, and I just want to stare him in his face and ask him to fight.
Yeah,
and just be like, look, LeVar, I don't have a problem with you, but I will fight you. Let's
but
just do this.
This is how I have to get through this.
And I hope he turns his back to me and just goes, "No, I don't want to fight you."
Tell that tattooed man I will not fight him. I'm looking up here, tell him I've sold 400 to 500 pairs. Like, that's not even the
That's not that
question.
much.
400 to 500 pairs.
Yeah.
Like, wait.
Yeah, that's like that's a weird thing where I feel like if you talk shit, but eventually now you are talking to her. They were having a back and forth.
Right.
It's not like if he would have just not answered any of those questions and just been like, "Hey, man, I sold this. She's done. She's talked shit about my son. I'm not going to listen to her."
Yeah.
That makes more sense than being like.
I do respect that Colin Cowherd is like a good enough host that he just lets her go. Like he sees the tension, is like, just lets it go.
Also, it's really weird that their show is up on these two fucking panels like they're running a space station.
Yeah. Yeah, it
I know
really.
it's a visual observation, but the way their studio looks is fucking weird.
It's disarming for the. It's not disarming. It's
looks like Future Court.
But yeah, exactly.
Your judgment of eating space food.
It's not comfortable for the guest.
Yeah, man. I was on board when he like brought up the fact that she was shit talking him, and then when he didn't. I mean, he had a conversation with her. Didn't look at her.
All right, let's see where this goes.
Well, no, I think I
said
actually
baller
was
was
saying it as like a point.
To
No, I
her
didn't say
it is.
no.
So hang on, hit pause. So the
She
deal
is gorgeous.
I'm unbelievable.
She looks. Yeah, I mean.
Unbelievable. But what she said was that she thinks that this is not about, she's not owning up to the stuff she said about the parenting at this moment. She's owning up to the fact that she said that Big Baller brand does not appeal to women. And so if he wants to sell all these shoes, he's got to do something that appeals to women, and that the shoe doesn't appeal to women.
That's ridiculous.
It makes no sense.
That's a very dumb argument.
It's stupid, isn't it?
That's a fucking stupid argument.
It's a very, yeah.
It doesn't appeal to women. Yeah, it's a men's basketball shoe.
Yeah, it's not for ladies.
Adult. They don't have a high pump. Yeah, of course they don't. They're fucking making sneakers to play basketball in for $500. But
yeah.
No.
I didn't say it was offensive.
Yeah.
I just said, if you want to, work with Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour, to maybe have something that appeals to women.
I thought that was a legit. I mean, I don't have to agree, but I thought that was a pretty
I don't
good
agree
point.
with her. I don't agree.
But I thought it was a good
No,
It's
point.
I'm
a good
actually
point
saying it as
because
like a
y'all
point of
friends.
advice.
I'm not saying that. I don't even see that. I don't even see it.
I wasn't saying it as like I would never wear this.
What's this show
I'm
about
saying-
again? Ain't we talking about shoes? I don't want to talk about all that.
Hang on, hit
Next.
pause.
I really am yo-yoing with him.
But wait. He's saying, wait, aren't we supposed to be talking about shoes? I don't want to talk about this. You're talking about shoes.
Yeah, you're talking about your actual brand.
Talking about whether the shoe appeals to men or women. That's the conversation is about shoes.
She looks, with that pause right there, she looks like all of my friends' girlfriends that have hated me. She's like, I don't understand why he has to smoke weed in the bathroom. I think that's really disrespectful. Yeah, he makes me laugh and then doesn't look